Hello everyone, I don't know if anyone's here yet, I'm just fiddling around with some stuff. Hello Scythe, hello Scouty Paws. Sorry, I'm just fiddling around with stuff. Give me a second. God, you can tell I haven't streamed in a few days. It's taken me just a quick second to get onto this shit. Hello. Notifications worked. Maybe that's because I haven't streamed in a while and they wanted to bless you. Dom Kana, hello. Hello, Yak Attack. I'm just popping out the chat. I'm just fiddling around. Give me a second. Hello, but just good morning, everyone. I hope you're good. I hope you are good this morning. Oh, my God. Ugh. Well, it's not really the morning. I love the phrase faffing around. It is a good phrase. Hello, Mr. Chris. Hello to you too. Yeah, good morning all. Sorry, I'm just getting back into this. I haven't streamed in like 2 days. Weird without you guys. Finished the clavicular video. Hopefully gonna get that up. We'll have to see. My internet is a bit shaky today. So yeah, it's gonna be a bit of a faff about Friday because I was finishing that clavicular video and I was also prepping to do the podcast with Isaac, but now I've messaged him and I'm trying to see if he'll let me do it at a slightly later date. We'll see. We'll see. But yeah, hope you're all good. Hold on. Oh no, wait, I don't want to do that. Perhaps some gaming. No gaming today because I've got to see Isaac. But yeah, we got the Ethan Klein. I don't know if any of you have seen it. It's actually probably the best. I was like, oh, I won't do anything unless he just goes on a deranged rant, and he went on his most deranged rant yet. There's a bit where I've not actually seen it, but I've been told about it. Apparently, there's a bit where Hila Klein's like, my small business has been attacked. She's like portraying herself as a small businesswoman. She's just talking about Teddy Fresh. Did you know Isaac had a career in music? Yeah, I did. He used to make creepy music. There is some crazy stuff in that rant. You're one of the most knowledgeable people I've seen talking about Israel and Palestine. Thank you. I mean, I did study it for many years. The only thing I realize more and more is that I haven't been studying it in a while. What on earth have I just seen on my phone? Okay. I'm looking up the most important thing, the Brent crude price. I was about to say the gold price, but the Brent crude price is way more important. And then I accidentally just searched old. And of course, you know what I'm thinking of when I search old, the beach that makes you old. Hello everyone. Are you jealous of Isaac? Why would I be jealous of Isaac? What about him? No. Me and Isaac are friends. I'm not particularly jealous of anything Isaac's up to. I'm jealous of, well, that's not true. I'm jealous of Isaac's ability to make videos. Isaac is far better and far more talented at me than making videos, so kudos to him for that. But yeah, no, I'm not jealous. We get on well. Okay, right, let's do the Wordle. I'm about to smash this. I've been smashing that Wordle recently. Yeah, Ethan Crash Out is good content for when you're a bit off your game. We'll do Crash to start off with, in memory of Ethan Klein. Okay. Found. We'll do next. Okay. That's a word, isn't it? Okay, so it is just... I'd already used E, hadn't I? No, I hadn't. Okay, so it's just... Fuck, I don't know. This is actually a hard one. Can I crack your mum joke randomly? I'm not so sure. He's giving the talking points himself. Who is? I'm jealous of Isaac because he gets to talk and hang out with my best friend Chris Guns every day. Me and Isaac don't talk that much. Yeah, I think you're right. It is putty. That would have taken me a while to work out, but that's the only thing it can be. Fucking hell. That was an elimination of pretty much everything it could have been quite quickly. I don't think there's any other words you could have made from that. There wasn't one more vowel. Was there? A, E. I used E. A, E, I, O, U. I used all the vowels. There was no other vowel. What? IDF Zoggle. Yeah, that's his new name. Yeah, IDF Sack. Jesus Christ. Why do you want me to do a random your mum joke? I haven't got... What do you mean? Should I... Do you want me to turn into that? What was that guy who did, like, yo mama jokes and now he's kind of semi-woke? Isn't he? I don't know. Either way. I was hoping to upload my video earlier. Trump's meeting Netanyahu on Tuesday. Hello, everyone. I am fiddling about. Is his name Brady? Braden? Is the crash out on YouTube? Yep. Okay, right. Let's quickly do this. Llama. Hold on. No, wait. No, Ethan hasn't posted any Instagram stories. I will contact your mama on behalf of Ethan Klein. Thank you. Thank you. Anyone else hate that has this stupid size change in font? I've not seen that. Ye jog, canter, ramble, walk. Maybe. Ramble, walk. Maybe you're right about that. No. Jog, refresh. It's to do with memory, prompt, and spark, I think. Yeah. Yak, babble, drone, ramble. Strikeout, single, home run, none. All things you can do in baseball. Oh, no. Walk, all things you do in baseball. There we go. Outcomes for a batter. Llama, canter, nun, friar. Homophones of religious roles. What? None. Oh. Llama? Dalai Lama? Friar. Oh my god, canter. Jesus. There we go. I did it, but I smashed it. I did really well. I didn't even know there was a fucking change. That menace in a while. Oh yeah, he's been on a big ass menacing run. Has Chris commented on Larry the Cat yet? What, does Larry the Cat go? Does he die? Did you watch the Odyssey yet? Also, why hasn't Ethan just taken a break? I think that the second advice of that is the worst idea to say at all. No, ramble is not like a Yorkshire thing. I know what the word it means, but I have seen the Odyssey. Yeah, the Odyssey is pretty good. I actually really enjoyed it. It wasn't like one of the best films I've ever seen, but it was pretty good. It's a bit too English for this game. I guess you're right about it being too English. Do you mean Larry the Black Cat? No, Larry is the cat that's at 10 Downing Street. So... Larry the Cat has killed all your PMs. How old is Larry the Cat? Is it something that's always been there since time immemorial? Is it like a sort of cat that lives forever? or is it just a cat? Sorry, I just dropped cold water on myself. It is hot, and I'm wearing a vest. Thank you for just highlighting my message, your message saying Chris Clive. Is the one Trubus PM. The Odyssey is woke and gay. It was pretty woke and gay. Is your accent posh? Yes. He's 17, indeed. Is that the cat? I have IMAX tickets for the Odyssey. Good luck, enjoy it. I saw it in non-IMAX. I'm sure it's great. Even better in IMAX. Ugh. No, I'm tensing. I'm doing God's work. Larry the cat. The cat. Where does it come from? I thought I was on, like, you know, Wikipedia. You can get, like, Wikipedia simple. Simple Wikipedia. I only read simple Wikipedia now. Larry is a cat who has served as chief mouser to the Cabinet Office of the United Kingdom. This is not that simple. He is a brown and white tabby believed to have been born... Is this the same? Larry was born a stray cat. Oh, wow. So he is just a random stray. Ugh. Thank you so much. I'm working on my scripts today, so it's nice to have... Good luck. Nice. I'm glad you're working on some scripts. You're doing better than I. I've done one script in ages. Oh my god. Yeah, so it's basically just a random cat, which is nice. I'm glad to hear that they rescued it. That's good. A good cat. Good cat. You're gulping. I know. I'm really thirsty. I'm really thirsty. Sorry, I'm just faffing. Cute and random. Yeah, I guess the only other thing that I wanted to talk about, I don't have any short videos because I'm a bit underprepared because I was doing a lot yesterday. I was driving to Heathrow and today I was finishing the clavicular video and I was doing, yeah, and I just, time got eaten up. Okay, right, let's have a watch of this first because I've seen a lot of people talking about this. I haven't had a chance. This is why I'm trying to push back the podcast so I can do it later because we've got to talk about this. Have you seen Jimothy the Raccoon? No? Jimothy the Raccoon. Who on earth is Jimothy the Raccoon? When I searched... Oh, is it the... I have seen Jimothy the Raccoon, yes. Okay, right, let's have a look at this. It's a good start saying Benjamin Netanyahu is the war criminal.
Benjamin Netanyahu is a war criminal, the architect of a horrific genocide against the Palestinian people. He is responsible for the killing of more than 73,000 people.
I don't know whether I can watch this because it has music on. Oh, I've started now. Fuck.
For the maiming.
Fuck. Oh, God. Why are you putting music on this video, Zoran? You must know that I want to react to it. Jesus Christ.
Of tens of thousands of children, as those who survive undergo amputation.
Yeah, you know what? Let's listen to this other one, because basically Zoran said that he couldn't, and then he was on... What was he on? New York Times. Was it an NYT interview? We can watch this. Okay, right, we'll watch this and then we'll work out. We'll find the NYT video.
Danny should be arrested. I know it will not happen, but I think he should be arrested.
On what grounds, Ambassador?
Oh, to my opinion, he promotes anti-Semitism. He sided with Hamas. A few weeks ago, he mourned the death of a Hamas terrorist. And a few days ago, he sent his commissioner to meet with the UN ambassador of Iran at the same time that the US soldiers are fighting the regime. So I know it will not happen. So
on YouTube, everything fucking triggers copyright these days. Everything. I'm constantly getting hit for it.
It's legitimate to play a political game, but if someone should be arrested, it's Mayor Mamdani, not Prime Minister Netanyahu. We know that is the case, and that's why we are not worried about it from the beginning.
Are you actually calling for Mayor Mamdani to be arrested, or is this too a verbal stunt, to use the language you used about Mamdani's statement about your prime minister?
If someone should be arrested, this mayor. I'm not a lawyer, and I'm not familiar with the legislation in the U.S., whether he's allowed to threaten an ally, whether he's allowed to defy the decision of the federal government not to be part of the ICC. He's playing his game. It's part of his campaign. I know that, it's hard for him to deal with the promises he made about the garbage in New York, about free buses. You are in D.C., I'm in New York. The city is still dirty. There are no free buses. He spoke about affordable housing. I have a long list to ask the mayor why he's dealing now with Netanyahu, with Hamas, with Iran, and instead of doing his job.
This guy is like a UN ambassador, right? Danny, is it Danny Danon? Am I right? I don't want to get him wrong. Yeah, it is Danny Danon. This guy is always like wandering around and just doing random shit. He shouldn't be talking about. Shut up about Zoran Mamdani. It's not your fucking business. It's not your business at all. Hamath Tewawith. If it wasn't this guy, I would say don't do that. But thank you for the $2. Thank you for supporting. Good to see you as always.
The fact of the matter is, though, you are allowed to have an opinion in this country, even if you don't like it, Ambassador, and you can't arrest somebody for promising free buses or dirty streets. Surely you don't think that the mayor should be arrested. What would he be charged with?
The same way that the mayor goes on TV 3 times a day calling for the arrest of our prime minister, we can do the same and call for his arrest.
It is fucking incredible to hear this man just talk about whatever's going on in another person's country. There was also a fucking massacre in the West Bank, which I didn't really know if I can talk about, because I will talk about it. I'm just gonna see if I can find
Last question.
Okay, here we go.
Question on this topic. Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is perhaps planning to visit New York for the UN General Assembly. You pledged during your campaign and after you won to order his arrest to comply with the International Criminal Court warrant. What will happen if he comes in September?
Look, I believe that Prime Minister Netanyahu belongs in The Hague. He's a war criminal who has been charged by the International Criminal Court. And
I've got a new. I have a. Sorry. Can you stop talking about a black dress? I'm not wearing a black dress. I'm wearing this. A vest. What was I going to say? Oh, I have a new YouTube video which popped into my head because I got recommended a YouTube video. What if X person?
Welcome to the Burger Reich.
What if Gus Fring was charged for his crimes? I want to make a YouTube video. What if Netanyahu was charged for his crimes? How long will he go to prison for? I think it's a brilliant idea. Hey, Anna Banan, thank you for the 11 months. Time flies when you're having fun being depressed about the news. It does indeed. I do have quite a bit to say. I'm glad he's still maintaining this. I'm glad he's still saying this about how he wants him arrested. It's rather unfortunate that he's unwilling to, that he can't deliver on it. It's pretty obvious he was never going to be able to deliver on it, though, I guess. But I feel like just going Zoran bad is kind of fine, whatever. It's sort of it's you're right. Zoran has failed to deliver on a promise that you would have hoped for, that he would hope to have delivered on. He obviously isn't going to be able to do it because he's not the fucking president, and already the actual government, which far supersedes his power, is saying that he will not do it. So I think that the other point that is more interesting is what Mohammed El-Kurd said, is that there are actually tangible actions that you can take, or take against him. Or take against the state of Israel. And Mohammed El-Kurd pointed this out. This is a non-answer. Mamdani cannot arrest Netanyahu. The United States is not party to the Rome Statute. Foreign affairs are a federal matter, etc. Moreover, as a sitting prime minister, Netanyahu has a strong claim to immunity, ration persane, before US courts. if Mamdani wants to take tangible action within the bounds of his office, he could easily urge the Attorney General and other relevant authorities to go after New York registered tax-exempt organizations that funnel tens of millions of dollars into Israeli settler expansion and violence every year, not niche irrelevant orgs like Beitar that are discredited by even the ADL, but consequential organizations like the Smotrich-funded Regavim or Israel Land Fund. Why won't he do that? I think that's the more interesting point of like, look, I know it's disappointing what the Mamdani hasn't delivered, but he was probably never going to be able to deliver. The thing is that you can actually do something. Did I say Mohammed El Kirk? You saved me from giving you $2 to tell you to see his take. Yeah, it's completely the correct take. And it's the more interesting thing than just going Zoran bad. Like, yeah, it sucks and it's not great that he hasn't delivered on another promise, but you can take tangible action which wouldn't require this. You know, which arresting Netanyahu is a big thing. So why not take the tangible action of doing something that you actually can do? Then why did he say it? What did he actually say?
I believe that
I remember him saying it, but when did he pledge to arrest him? What did he specifically say? Okay, I can't find it. Mamdani would arrest Netanyahu. Okay, I can't find it.
As former hostages celebrate being home, there is new heartbreak for families of those killed by Hamas. Hamas says that it can't hand over any more bodies without special equipment to recover them. Israel says one of the 4 bodies returned so far does not match any of the hostages who died. Zoran Mamdani is leading the race for mayor in New York City, the biggest city in the country and the capitalist center of the world. The 33-year-old is proposing free childcare, free buses, freezing rent, and city-run grocery stores. He has claimed that we should not really have billionaires in this city, and he has vowed to make New York the strongest sanctuary city in the country. His views on hot topics like the NYPD and Israel have been a constant source of controversy, but he is ahead by 13 points right now in this race. I sat down with him on the eve of tomorrow night's big mayoral debate in New York City. Here's part 1 of our exclusive interview. Thank you very much for being here. Candidate for mayor of New York City, you're up by 13 points. It looks like you've got the wind at your back. You've got a big debate coming up tomorrow night with the other candidates, Andrew Cuomo and Curtis Sliwa. Obviously, New York City policy is front and center, but I would imagine that some of the big headlines recently are going to come up tomorrow night as well. So I want to get to all the policy issues in New York, but I wanted to ask you this first. If you are asked tomorrow night, if you give credit to President Trump for the ceasefire between Israel and Hamas and the return of the 20 living hostages, would you raise...
I'm just going to skip to the part where they talk about the arrest. Let's have a look.
Very outspoken in your criticism of him. Do you stand by that? You would arrest him if he came here if you were mayor?
I've said that this is a city that believes in international law, and this is a city that wants to uplift and uphold those beliefs. The Prime Minister...
The United States doesn't stand by the International Criminal Court.
It hasn't signed the treaty for the International Criminal Court. The International Criminal Court, however, has issued a warrant for the arrest of Benjamin Netanyahu,
but
as
what
it
grounds
has...
in the United States...
Imagine he's playing a double trick and his, like, Mamdani hit squads go in and arrest him. We'll have to see.
Could you arrest him on?
As it has for Vladimir Putin, I've said that I believe that we should uphold arrest warrants by the International Criminal Court, and that we should do so only in abiding with all of the laws in front of us. I'm not going to make a new law to ensure that we can actually do this.
Do you think that Commissioner Tisch would allow you to arrest Netanyahu in New York City?
I've appreciated Commissioner Tisch's leadership of the NYPD, and I think that she's done a good job at lowering crime across this city.
But do you think that she would go along with arresting Netanyahu in New York?
I can tell you that I'm going to exhaust every legal option in front of me, not to make new laws to do so.
So he already kind of backed off the statement oh, this was on my 25th birthday, the 15th of October. How interesting. So he kind of backed off it months ago.
All right. So
yeah. That is Elephant Fish. That is fantastic pushback. We don't believe in international law here in the US. You don't understand. Promises to arrest. Because I'm trying to remember it. So he backed off already a while ago. Promises to arrest Netanyahu. Does anyone know where it originally came from? Philip DeFranco?
Benjamin Netanyahu belongs behind bars. That is the direct message you had millions hearing from New York Mayor Zoran Mamdani. And despite some hope out there,
I'm trying to find can Mamdani arrest Netanyahu? I'm trying to find the thing where he says, I promise to arrest Netanyahu. Popularity.
As mayor, New York City would arrest Benjamin Netanyahu.
And Mayor Mamdani, would you welcome Prime Minister Netanyahu to New York City for whatever he comes for, given the US is not a signatory to the ICC, so he can travel to the US, unlike a lot of other countries. Would a Mayor Mamdani welcome Benjamin Netanyahu to the city?
No. As mayor, New York City would arrest Benjamin Netanyahu. This is a city that our values are in line with international law. It's time that our actions are also.
Okay, yeah, he did promise to do exactly that. I seem to remember him saying it, but...
Good evening.
Let's have a look. Let's see if it's also in the primary debate. Arrest a pastor. Pastor. Okay, you know what? I can't find any more, but it's pretty evident that he did say it. That's the thing. I mean, he was never, ever, ever going to be able to actually arrest him. But the thing is it's much more of like, you can do stuff that he isn't doing. And the same problem goes on in the UK. It's like how we talk about settler organizations and the two-state solution, yet we have people who support settler organizations, yet we have people who are, big on the, who are big on supporting, the apartheid structure in Israel, who go and participate in it and they just get away with it. Let's watch this of him talking about it as well now.
What you will find is that is an opinion that is held by many purely because of what his actions have wrought over these last many years. I've also said that I will follow the laws that we have here in New York City because I believe that there's an importance in following the law as a leader who presides over our city, and that's something that I plan to do.
Meaning? I'm sorry, I don't understand what that means.
Well, actually, you know what? Politicians can't and won't do shit. When will people realize this? I think the Trump administration kind of proves that politicians can do shit. Politicians can do shit that is just based on their whims and wills of whatever they want. They can do it whatever they want. Like, Trump does literally whatever he wants. So I'm not going to lie. They kind of can do things. It's a choice not to. And I think it's like, okay, fair enough. You can't arrest Netanyahu. He backed off it a while ago. So it's not really surprising that he's backed off it again. But I think his decision now is, do you suppress people who want to protest against Netanyahu? Do you allow the police to crack down on them? Do you continue down the same path of not actually taking action on any of this stuff? So, yeah, Why are you talking about this guy like he's your friend? Which guy? As in Mamdani, or... I don't think I'm talking about Mamdani like he's my friend. I don't know.
Meaning that whatever the law allows me to do in New York City, that's what we will do, but we won't be writing our own laws to that end.
What does the law allow you to do?
That's an active conversation with our legal department in seeing what the prospects are we have here in our municipality. However, what we've seen at the national level is a desire sometimes to write your own laws, to go outside of the bounds of legality. That's not something we have an interest in.
I mean, normally when people come to a UN General Assembly, they're granted a sort of amnesty because it is the seat of the United Nations. Is that what you're thinking?
Zoran should goad Netanyahu into hitting him and then he should arrest him. Or does New York have stand your ground laws?
That you'll honor?
He should do that.
Or you're actively looking to see if you can actually arrest him?
I think we are looking at all of our legal obligations, and one of them is with regards to the United Nations. But the other part of this is we're not talking about a personal assessment of Benjamin Netanyahu. We're talking about the International Criminal Court and the fact that they have a warrant out for this prime minister's arrest. And I think it's important to talk about the weight that has as a charge, and also that as the mayor of New York City, I'll be following the laws of New York City.
Okay. One of the things that I really wanted to ask you about also was an understanding of your sort of broader vision for your coalition now that you're getting involved in federal races. Because Daria...
No, the person in chat wasn't actually talking to me. I can't remember who it was, but they were saying that I wasn't talking, that it wasn't about me. I don't know who they were talking to.
Lisa, again, Avila Chevalier has a particular view of him.
I think the point is that, like, there is a recognition of, like, he can't stop the settlers. You're right. Like, Zoran himself can't stop what Israel is doing. He's the mayor of New York. But he can take tangible action in his position. It's the same thing with, like, Brad Lander, of why, like, Brad Lander is someone who I'd be incredibly fucking wary of. Because Brad Lander has literally done nothing in his position. Well, actually, that's a lie. Brad Lander has actively used his position to continue supporting Israel. It's, like, a really troubling thing.
Immigration. She rejects all deportations, even of violent criminals. She called borders a philosophical concept. How do you view, for example, the...
She called borders a philosophical concept, as if that's bad. Part of the issue locally is that Zionist still has outsized power here. Political insiders are still skittish of them. I mean, I don't doubt that that's true, but I think that the thing is like, you can just continually cause problems for them. Like, you can set up boundaries and make it difficult for them. I guess the thing is unfortunately they just end up being protected by the federal government, but at least do something and try and create that issue for them. Yes, he invests in Elbit. If Mamdani can't even choose a non-Zionist police commissioner, why would anyone expect him to arrest Netanyahu? True. Okay, right. That's enough of that. Let's quickly... I don't know if it'll actually be that quick. We can either do the Ethan Klein's deranged rant, because it is really quite something. It is actually filled with gold dust. Because I've seen some clips of it, but I haven't seen people do the full thing, and I'll put it on 1.5 times speed, don't you worry. But there are some amazing bits, such as when he starts talking about AIPAC and Qatar, and another part, once again, where Hila describes herself as a small business owner, which I am so excited to hear all about. Yeah, I think the thing is as well, I'm sorry, I'm a bit under-prepped for today, but no, I've just... I understand why people are upset. I do. I fully understand why people are upset. I'm here for Ethan Klein tea. Yeah, I mean, it was quite funny. We were having like a discussion as to whether he changed at all, and he certainly hasn't changed. So yeah, he's back. He's back with a bang in terms of his rantings and ravings, and he's back with the sort of... He actually endorses Destiny in this.
Is Ethan here? Hi, Ethan.
Ethan's here. Hold on. Let me bring him in.
I don't want to talk too loud. Huh? And there's two Davids.
I tweeted this out, but I deleted it because I don't really think it was something that I should have tweeted out in the way I did. Because, like, you know, when someone's clearly having mental health issues, you probably shouldn't make light of like that generally. But when I was talking about Ethan Klein's like decline or his mental decline, I think the best part of it, or the funniest part of his just like mental insanity, is that the reason it's so bad is because of people like this, people like Girl with a Microphone, and all the crew who are just hired as yes men to tell him to keep doing these like objectively moronic things that are only disastrous. And it is so fucking funny. It is so funny that he is just refusing to speak about Noah Sampson, that he launched a lawsuit that he abandoned because it was so dumb, and he's just like keeping stum about that.
Yes, queen. We're working on it. We're good. Yeah. Yes, yes. Would love your 2 cents.
I know this lady does really make me irrationally angry. I don't know what it is about Girl with a Microphone. I think it's like her incessant tweeting style of just tweeting shit. Just tweeting like shit about the Democratic Party. She also has 10k tweets and 2k followers. Well, you know, a lot of people tweet, and you're welcome to tweet to just sort of no one, but she has like the worst tweeting style imaginable, and she's always tweeting about what the Democratic Party would do, and she always complains that apparently people are obsessed with like Ethan, but all this lady does is just tweet about Hassan and how evil he is. She's genuinely one of the worst characters.
So it seems like your take is that that these extreme lefts have no power if you don't fear them.
Not the extreme lefts. I'm talking about the snarkers, like the people that are going after David Pakman and like silencing
I don't think those
them.
are snarkers. Those are like this is like there's a huge overlap, right? I think that there's like an army of people. They're coordinated. They're organized. They may well even be supported by bots and state actors. And
this man is. What state actor do you think it is that is like, yeah, I don't like David Pakman. David Pakman just comes off as like an annoying lib kind of guy.
They are mobilizing on TikTok and Twitter, and they absolutely can shift the narrative. I mean, watch what happens to David Pakman now.
Yeah,
I was talking to him, and I told him exactly what was going to happen, and it's all happening. Well, I was like, here's what's going to happen.
Why did you time out Izzo Star? What did Izzo Star do? Did Izzo Star do something? Oh, whoops. Izzo Star, sorry if you've been timed out. I think that was unintentional.
There's going to be a massive disinfo, anti-Semitic hate campaign against you across Twitter and TikTok.
Yep. Already happening.
They're going to target your children and your extended family. And they're going to basically, it doesn't matter what you say, anything even as slight as making fun of his dumb fucking Mao outfit is basically like any slight, as small as it is perceived the same as any giant attack. Like it doesn't matter if he said Hassan is ISIS, right? Like it would be treated with the same threat level, because
I really do not know enough of what he is even talking about here. This thing of like, apparently it's to do with insulting his Mao suit. By the way, the Mao suit is quite nice, I will say. It's really, really, really nice. I like the Mao suit. It is nice. And by the way, you are right. Whenever he's stressed, he's going crazy. He's going like just wild.
There's no dissent allowed, even as minor and deviating as possible. So I think personally it's a mistake to underestimate or to minimize what these people can do. And all you have to do is watch what's going to happen to David Pakman over the next like month or so. Like he's.
I swear people also didn't really like David Pakman already. Like David Pakman is not a particularly pleasant individual already, is he?
He's been added to the list, and basically he's a Zionist now of the worst order, and
David Pakman was already a Zionist, right? It's not because he attacked Hassan, it's because he is a Zionist, no?
He'll be outcast as much as possible. You know, you say David would have been welcomed into the convention. Well, that was before he made fun of Hassan's Mao outfit. I don't know that that's true anymore. I don't think he.
Sorry, there's also a video from back here by Ken Klippenstein of him telling
on the progressive movement. And the reason I want to talk to you about this is I see you really, when people ask me, who do you see right now as the sort of progressive that...
By the way, this suit fucking sucks.
You like to be at the head of this movement going forward. I think of you, and there's a bunch of different reasons why. And unfortunately, there is right now a bit of a division, as I see it, on the left on a number of issues. That includes foreign policy.
If you're saying that Richie Torres is the leader of your movement, it is just frankly one of the most insane things that I have ever heard. That man was tweeting out the most repugnant shit about Palestinians. Yeah, the internet's cooked, but it's fine. That's Richie Torres in a horrible suit.
honestly, I don't think that they would let him in. I mean, Destiny is someone who, despite what you think about him, has consistently done a ton of grassroots activism for the Democrats. He does door knocking. He does.
Fuck! Why is the internet doing this? Stop it. Hold on, let me just try fiddle and fix it. Give me a second. Okay. Yeah, I mean, if you're out here saying, like, you really like this guy, just you really like this guy, it's just, oh my god. I don't know, I would not hand it to Destiny in any capacity. Destiny is obviously someone who is far, if your main love and regard is for the Democratic Party, you would tell them to run away from Destiny. Destiny has allegations of involvement in, like, pedophilia or things to that effect, and recording people without their consent. Like, I don't think he's a boon to the Democratic Party.
Canvassing calls with his community. He raises a bunch of money. Meanwhile, Hassan is a poison pill to the Democratic Party by his own admission, and he's their guest of honor. And Hassan and Destiny's being stopped at the door. Like, it's a coup. It's a cynical takeover, and I think it's a mistake to underestimate.
It's incredible that this is at this point that this is just the point you've reached, that this is just what you're up to, the kind of stuff that you're saying is just outrageous. I don't know, this is like this is what the Red Scare is like. This is what the Red Scare has become.
Or assume that they have that they're powerless, because it's just not true. Yeah. It's just not true.
Yeah, the point that I make toward the end is about, like, I think
also, by the way, isn't Destiny and his kind of community way more associated with stalking, doxing, harassing, and all of this stuff? Right? Than Hassan is. And isn't this the main thing that Ethan has apparently been on a campaign against?
the power that they are wielding is more toward the voters than toward like infiltrating the party on like an actual politician level. They're blackpilling young people out of voting and out of getting engaged because they are showing them there's no difference between the parties, that they're all corporate shills.
That's only one side of their strategy.
I can tell from my experience trying to work with people. They're also easily manipulating people by bullying them into cutting off somebody like me because they're like, oh, you shouldn't work with this person. They're an evil Zionist. And then people will just comply. They'll just say, oh, okay, I didn't know. But now that I know, I won't work with them. Like, it's that simple. They're taking advantage of people who want to be on the right side, want to do the right thing. They're taking advantage of that and actually like causing so much harm.
1,000%.
So I think it's worse than, not worse. It's what you're saying is correct, but I think the reality is worse than what you're saying.
There's more.
By the way, these aren't like cultivated things on the internet, and I feel like if you do genuinely believe this, you're suffering from delusions. Like, this is just straight up delusional. The thing is that the reason that this has happened is because a lot of people don't like Israel. In the same way that, you know, if you were like, I don't know, someone who'd served in Vietnam and was like proud of it and talked about it for years at the time of the Vietnam War, people would not like it. You know? A Pac-Man classy making a spiel about not knowing about AIPAC. Oh, I remember that. Yeah, Gila is deranged. I don't know. Just all of this stuff is deranged. It really is. Also, yeah, you should be focusing on the road. This is very, very, very deranged. I think you also just think, I don't know, I think generally, just on this topic, I just think it's weird to think that this is like a state-organized campaign. People just do and don't like things on the internet, and it's yours and your husband's behavior. Like, in making the Clavicular video, I've said this before, it's really funny that Clavicular, who might genuinely be brain dead, I'm sorry that I'm still debating, you know, because Ethan Klein was like, I'm going to Israel to film it, and then thinks that there's like an evil bot state actors attacking him, that they're doing it for no reason, even though he said, I want to go to Israel and make propaganda. But Clavicular, who might be the dumbest guy ever, was literally like, yep, I'm in Israel to do propaganda for the state of Israel.
I think it's more.
I think the blackbilling is just one part of their strategy. The other part is just they have these massive influence on these social media with the young audience.
Yes.
And I do think that this is having a huge sway with people's political.
Also, I don't know why, if you're so outraged by what's happened to the Palestinians, if you genuinely think that there's a genocide going on, that you wouldn't understand why people are so angry, and that your kind of new vision for the Democratic Party, if you love them so much, would not be some kind of way to try and bring those people in, instead of this whole thing of just sitting there and going and pretending that these people are ruining the Democratic Party. The Democratic Party ruined themselves. People are judging their actions. And by the way, like, a lot of people would criticize Hassan for like being, you know, still like, yeah, there are some Democrats I like. The thing is these people just want every Democrat to be like fucking John Fetterman, but maybe not as outrageous.
You know, affiliations and stuff. Like Hassan goes, yeah, all I want is to get people health care. That's like his mantra.
Right.
He goes, gee, I guess the only people that disagree with me is just because you know, I want health care. And then he's gonna fucking jam someone like Graham Plattner with a Nazi tattoo on his chest down the fucking pipes, right? Or any number of others, just completely fucking unhinged Alex Jones level of psychotic leftist delusional cycle. I mean, that's what Pacman was ranting about to begin with, is that we're starting to see the emergence of this, like, what are they calling it? Like a leftanon or libanon, or it's not a libanon, it's a leftanon. And it is happening. Like, you see the ravings of a lunatic like Kyle Kalinske. He used to be somewhat normal. And now, like, I was just watching a clip of him and he's going on about how it's 100% fact that the Mossad has videos of Trump having sex with children, and that's why the Iran war is happening and all this stuff. It's like full on conspiracy brained psychopathy. And Kyle Kalinske is popular.
I don't know if Kyle Kalinske was saying that, but it's dumb. Like, so fucking what? Who cares? Kyle Kalinske is dumb.
The Majority Report is on that same fucking wavelength. The Sun's on that wavelength. All of the
Kyle Kalinske is definitely not awesome.
Leftist media outlets are telling the same.
I know. It's also kind of funny just saying that Kyle is unhinged when you're the one doing this like fucking rant. I mean, it gets even more unhinged.
Same line, which is getting more and more extreme every day. And the minute you go, whoa, you know, you guys maybe need to bring it back a little bit on this, or whoa, dressing up like Mao is kind of cringe, don't you think? Then that's it, and everybody start picking up on that. No deviation from the party line is acceptable, and that's how communism works. Like toxic communism, MAGA is like that too, yeah. But like historically, that's how this types of like authoritarian communism works. That's why.
What is this? What is this? What are you even talking about? Like. Now there's not really allowed to be a deviation from MAGA, but that's actually much more. You're not allowed to criticize Trump's policies. There are quite a lot of deviations. Lindsey Graham was very high up in the sort of MAGA sphere before he fucking died for some reason. Don't know what that was all about, Lindsey. Rip to a real one. But Lindsey Graham was like massively pro-Ukraine, whereas Trump's kind of lukewarm at best, I would maybe describe him as. So this whole thing of just talking about it is true though. Communism allowed a lot less deviation in ideology than, say, the Nazi Party did. The Nazi Party was a lot broader in terms of what they allowed.
Now it ends up fucking the Great Purge, where 40-50 million people die because
the Great Purge.
They own fucking apartments, or same in Russia, you know, and
40-50 million people die in the Great Purge?
This is how this stuff, Pol Pot, right? It's like
also Pol Pot was I do not know like fully enough about the Khmer Rouge's ideology, but it was quite something, to say the least, and you don't see that generally in most communist things. And by the way, it was the government of the United States who said, Kissinger said he'd happily work with Pol Pot.
You can't deviate from the party line or you die. I mean, that's how it's happened in all three of these cases. You want to look at three of the most populist.
Yeah. But so what is he talking about though? Is he talking about the Great Leap Forwards? Is he talking about the famine, the Cultural Revolution, the Great Purge? He's probably talking about the Great Leap Forwards. I just Googled it to see if there is something specifically called the Great Leap Forwards. I mean, it does seem that, like, Maoist, some of Mao's policies, like, led to it in part. But the whole thing is that if you go back in history, China had always experienced huge amounts of famine and massive amounts of deaths. Like, literally, just Google largest famines in history. Like, if you just look at famines, they're most, like, the biggest ones in like, around that time. There are huge, huge, huge amounts in China. Oh my god, how have I got to click through so much? There was a famine where 700,000 to 3 million died in 1942 to 43. But there are some ecological reasons, and this is across 4 years, right? There are some ecological reasons, but also some policies of the Mao government. But literally, just look at this. 1928 to 1930, 3 million to 10 million. 1921, 500,000. Chinese famine of 1906, did Mao cause that? 20 to 25 million dead? Like, I'm sorry, it's just kind of a dumb thing to talk about and to say. China has greater material conditions. I mean, China definitely does. I think the Soviet Union maybe now of like average American.
Communist uprisings. Look at China, look at the USSR.
Yeah, it is anti-Semitic to kind of talk about this if you covered it. But Ethan has been unhinged about his employees having. I have seen that. I didn't want to cover that because, like, if he's talking about politics, it's kind of interesting. But where there's something of like speculating or talking about him being unhinged towards his employees, I don't really give a fuck now. Like, I'm gonna be real. Like, it is unhinged, and his behavior is genuinely just unhinged. But yeah, I don't know. And also, by the way, I just want to reiterate, like, did Mao intentionally have, like, a plan that he was specifically like, I want to starve these people? Because that's what Hitler did. Like, Hitler actively had that plan. Hitler was a colonist. Hitler was an imperialist. Hitler believed in that some human beings were supreme over others. What the fuck do you think Israel is? What the fuck do you think that is?
Look at Pol Pot. Look at
Jean, what is it? Mao. Look
at fucking North Korea. I mean, that's just a tyranny. Although people like Hassan like North Korea more and more every day for some reason. But this is what it is. It's leading towards that. I mean, you say Hassan is doing accelerationism, and that's exactly what he's doing, which is basically just obstructing, damaging, poison pilling every institution we have, trying to hasten the fall of our established norms, governments, institutions, everything, so that because they believe that, you know, from the
I don't think this is me lagging. I think this is him. Works cited, the crack pipe. Yeah, I don't doubt it. This is probably the most deranged rant in months. I don't know what's going on. Like, this man should just take a chill pill, you know? I feel like if you're getting this worked up over the Democratic Party, I don't know, man. They lost the last election because they were fucking shit. They lost against an old guy who was so dumb because they ran another old guy who could barely fucking speak English. And you're like, Hassan is doing accelerationism. How about the fact that they let Joe Biden do a debate against Trump? The guy was like, it's literally like getting a guy from a nursing home and making him have a debate from a guy who's got 5 years before he goes to the nursing home. The guy from 5 years before will probably win. But if you had someone competent, it's just like, I really don't know what to say. Like, these people who have so much animosity towards people who kind of envision change for the Democratic Party when they still like the Democratic Party is fucking insane to me.
Of our civilization, some great communist utopia is going to fucking rise from the ashes. But honestly, when you actually look at all these people, like Hassan's dream of a communist utopia, they're all on fucking welfare and unemployment because they're just fucking lazy ass losers. Honestly.
Yeah.
What do you mean? Like, why would you not want people? Like, why would you not want people who are on welfare? Like, people who people, let's just say that is Hassan's audience, people who are on welfare, people who are struggling. Why would you not want them to have better lives? Isn't that the whole point of being like a fucking Democrat or a leftist, that you think other people should have fucking decent lives? That they kind of envision something that is not this current system, that is prioritization of profit over people. Oh, I haven't got to the Islamo-communism bit. By the way,
La Boo-Boo.
I read this. I was reading like some fucking... I've been back on my Hitler book bullshit. I've been reading Ian Kershaw's biography of Hitler. I'm just a bit over halfway through now.
La Boo-Boo.
It is a long-ass book, but it is... He was just talking about, like, he was like, there are a small group of Jewish people holding the strings of the evil Bolshevik menace. And it's just like, Jesus Christ. Sounds like I'm listening to an Ethan Klein stream. Okay, Knox, thank you for the $5, my man. Thank you for supporting the stream and making streaming possible. The crew confirmed they can't appear in each other's streams because Love mentioned something about being unable to say Taco Bell and Tamara saying they can't. Yeah, I saw that. I mean, I mentioned the other day, Isaac is banned from doing anything now. Isaac is not allowed to go outside if I'm not there. He's not allowed to do anything. But thank you so much, Knox. But yeah, I saw that. The guy's crazy. Oh my goodness. My man. Adrian, thank you for the 200 Mexican pesos. I said dollars the other day. I apologize for that. Hi, Chris. I can't watch today, but I'm sending love to you guys. I just want to say, aside from my difference with Hassan, I hate people like this that want to defend the system that is sponsoring genocides all around the world. Yeah, I also find it fucking crazy that these people love the Democratic Party, but the whole thing is just like, what is your suggestion? Do the same thing that they did in 2024? What is it? Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
The unemployment scourge for sure.
Yeah.
40%.
Isaac's been calling me the Bristol bloody Fritzl the way I've been moved. Actually, that's an inappropriate joke, and I apologize for it.
40%
of Hassan's audience are unemployed. Yeah.
If 40% of Hassan's audience are unemployed and they're dreaming of a better political system and a better life, good for fucking them. That's what we should have. People being incredibly poor and dying in the streets fucking sucks. Change that. People aren't fucking lazy. They have reasons not to work. You try being a millennial. You try getting a job after getting rejected on Sniffies for the 100th time. It's hard.
I think it's possible that I am not.
Oh wait, it is me. It is my internet. Fucking hell.
Naive that the Democratic Party is better than Republicans and will resist this better than the Republicans did the Tea Party, because that was the comparison that Pacman was making. And I was just saying that I don't think that the left, the extreme left...
Yes, thank you, Tannis Rule of All, and thank you all to anyone who is a member. It's always greatly appreciated.
This point has the same kind of like insane funding that made the Tea Party elections possible. But maybe I'm wrong.
No, I think the funding...
Oh, he's misrepresenting the census. Well, you see, that's the difference. 100% of Ethan Klein's... The social contract of the H3 universe is that you get a minimum wage job and you pay hundreds of thousands of in subs and memberships to a multi-millionaire who is so fucking lazy that he uses ChatGPT whilst also paying a ton of fucking yes men like this GWAM idiot.
Is there? I mean, we already know that Qatar and, for example, Qatar is donating billions of dollars into like the educational system. And I mean, Russia and China and all these countries have...
So I actually wanted to talk about this, okay? So I go to... I added you as a mod, I think. Did I? No, I didn't. I just pinned your message. Fucking hell, I am an idiot. Hold on. So I wanted to... hold on. Let me just get back to this. So I just wanted to talk about this.
La boo-boo.
So I actually specifically wanted to talk about this because I went to a university that you can go look up if you want. I think it's Al-Qasimi. So Al-Qasimi, Exeter. So Al-Qasimi is the head of the... he's like a core sheikh in Sharjah. So Al-Qasimi, one of them, Sultan bin Mohammed Al-Qasimi, went to Exeter University. He did a PhD in, it's something to do with merchant ships and piracy or some shit. I can't remember. You can look it up, but that's vaguely what it is. So I went to a university that is funded by this. In no way is there some kind of correlation with what he does versus
Welcome to the Burger Reich.
Or what he would want versus what professors would, how they act and behave. I was taught by multiple professors who told me negative shit about the United Arab Emirates. If these people had full control over the university system, then you wouldn't hear shit like that. There's also definitely Qatari funding at Exeter. I feel like I may be wrong about that. But anyway, Al-Qasimi definitely funds it. This whole notion that these people are like buying it up. No, they want people to learn about the Middle East, in part so you can produce a new class of experts who might know a bit fucking more about the who might know a bit more about the Middle East than these fucking idiots. But yeah, this whole notion that there's like some evil action ongoing by this is dumb. Qatari oiler, who watches this? Who watches this? Who watches this? Well, the people engaged in the social contract, you lock yourself in the wage cage. So Drac has just said minimum wage getting you $600 a week after tax and rent is $650. Well, then you have to factor in that you've got to give $1,200 worth of subscribers to Ethan per hour and week. Qatar is our funding partner, Ethan. I know. Sorry, Qatari Oiler. Qatari Oiler saluting you for funding commie education. Yes. Well, I did see that only 14,000 people were watching his fucking video, which, you know, it's a lot, but when you're running some big-ass fucking podcast, that is not enough. That is not enough. It's not enough at all. But the thing is anyone should appreciate that this is actually a great thing, that Gulf countries and shit are funding universities. I think it's good. I don't think it's good when they get interference, but funding departments that Western governments increasingly are like, oh no, we're not funding. They shouldn't have to do it because it should just be funded by the governments. But I will say the thing at Exeter, and I'm not going to sit here and tell you anything positive about Qasimi. I'm not. Fuck that. But what I will tell you is the Middle East Institute at Exeter is absolutely fucking wonderful. And the fact that currently people there are having their jobs threatened by not just specifically them, but anyone within the social sciences is fucking disgusting. When Israel exists as well. Yeah, it's also just like, well, what about Qatar? What about Qatar? It's like, obviously it's fucking different. Like, if Israel's funding it, Israeli funding in the UK, right, amounts to having these fucking gross organizations that fucking harass students, that try and attack journalists and people speaking out against Israel. The Qataris are just like, I don't know, fucking expecting people to become policy experts and shit, and also maybe move over to the Middle East and drain some fucking talent out of European countries, and also, by the way, provide it for Middle Eastern kids, because obviously these universities are good and you tend to get a lot of Middle Eastern kids who are from richer families who go over to the US, go over to the UK. It's also, by the way, it's also actually a beneficial thing for democracy. Apparently, having like this is questionable, but it is apparently tangibly beneficial if a large amount of students go over, because then you build like a Western educated class who have like expectations. But that is some shaky stuff, I think I will say. And yeah, actually, you know what? I didn't even think about that. Arabic speakers are in high demand by the British Army, CIA, MI5, and all of that shit, so no doubt they also want that. That's why there's a fucking officer class at these universities. That's the dumbass shit that these people also don't realize. There are a huge amount of, like, these fucking idiots who are at universities who are just, like, you know, whose only goal is to become, like, a fucking spy or something. Like, that is a thing.
Turkey even has a vested interest in destabilizing Iran, and I wouldn't be surprised in the least bit, you know, after seeing Hassan's fucking tour of China with government officials holding his hand.
I also don't. This guy is like, everything that he claims about anti-Semites and all of this stuff, all of this stuff that he claims about, like, anti-Semites and stuff having these inflated views. There are people who have these dumbass worldviews about Israel being responsible for everything, 100%. But This guy sitting here and telling you that the Qatari government wants to see the collapse of Western civilization when the thing that props up these Gulf monarchies is relationships with the West is incredible. It is truly, truly incredible to hear this. And Turkey, what the fuck do you mean, Turkey? What do you think?
Seeing in Mao's little red book and seeing him dance and shit and piss and squeal like a pig at it. I wouldn't be surprised at all. In fact, there has to be already, you know.
Ethan's just mad because the only book that would make him piss, shit, and squeal being gifted is David Ben-Gurion's autobiography, or They Must Go by Meir Kahane. One day on his Israel trip, he'll just get a copy of They Must Go by Meir Kahane given to him by Destiny and Loner Box, and he'll be like jumping up and down going, ooh, yay! It's a signed copy! Meir signed this just before he killed Palestinians! Ooh! Obviously, Ethan would probably not be best pleased by that, but...
People who are trying to destabilize, who have already, we know, like Russia has spent millions and millions, if not billions of dollars to destabilize and affect campaigns. Well, Hassan is their dream come true. They have every vested interest to either directly support him or establish botnets to support him, even without his knowing participation. But he's in contact with the Cuban government. He's in contact with the Chinese government. We know that he's in...
It's also really funny as well, by the way, because there are like a ton of pro-Israel bot farms, like... ton of pro-Israel, ton of pro-UAE stuff. Marcus, I'm trying not to get sued, mate. I've already had one scary incident, so don't fucking post that.
Contact with these people. And when we say that dark money isn't going to be affecting it, well, it's not going to be coming from within the United States. It's going to be coming without from our adversaries who see this as a golden opportunity.
By the way, imagine calling Qatar an adversary. What do you think this is? What do you think that Qatar is? Marcus, this is going to turn into 1984 if you keep doing that. Marcus, I'm going to big brother you. They're secretly funding Hassan instead of feeding their own people. Yeah, that's what Cuba's doing. Also, by the way, I don't really know how Marco Rubio currently governs Venezuela. If you want to see how these people who sit there and they go like, you don't listen to Venezuelans, you don't listen to Iranians, these people just discard whatever cause is big to bash leftists with after 10 seconds. I bet this motherfucker didn't even bother to read, he doesn't read, but bother to read that it was in the New York Times that Marco Rubio just rules over Venezuela. And I saw one yesterday or the other day that I missed because it was one of the days where I was taken off and I was like, I shouldn't be fiddling around on my phone and shit. But I saw this one the other day where it was like, yeah, there's like billions of oil revenue just missing from Venezuela. And these people are fucking sat here like, yeah, happen to Cuba, please, Cuba needs to be free from the dictators. What do you think that what do you think that your country wants to do to Cuba? And don't tell me that I'm just relying on history. They did it a few months ago to fucking Venezuela. But no, I have to listen to the indigenous Venezuelan voices. Chris, you forget that the Qataris are the fucking Arabs. I do forget that. Qatar is a US military base. What do you mean? Qatar's an adversary?
To destabilize America, and it is.
Which, by the way, is what they accuse all of the progressive and, moderate Democrats of doing with AIPAC, right? Is that outside money or in...
By the way, as well, this should be studied as a case of how your life can become fucked up by just associating exclusively with people who tell you, yeah, keep on your path. Hiring this woman will be the greatest mistake Ethan made. This woman is no talent, has no skill or anything. The only reason she has even any viewer base is because she talks exclusively about Hassan, because she is an Ethan Klein bootlicker. That's it. That's really it. But when you have someone feeding into your delusions of what you're saying right now, of Qatar being your core adversary, this is just an Israeli talking point. And I'm sorry, this doesn't come from my position of regarding the Qatari government incredibly fucking highly or something. It's a material reality that I don't like. It hosts the biggest military base in the entire Middle East. Qatar is a country that, like, is only portrayed as an adversary because it does not follow the exact Saudi line, or didn't back in like 2015, and also because it backed it backed like soft Democrats and political Islamists during Islamic Democrats, like the Muslim Brotherhood. Basically, that's what Qatar did. The Muslim Brotherhood is like, go look up what the Muslim Brotherhood is in Egypt or Tunisia or something. You will meet leftists there who don't like it because it's basically just a socially conservative organization, but they are like Democrats and like just they're interested in democracy. Okay, you could read what's Morsi said. Morsi said there is no such thing as an Islamic democracy, only democracy. But yeah, I don't know why you've hired this person.
Inside money, but they don't admit that it's happening.
AIPAC is not even close. Yeah, and I mean, listen, AIPAC's not even close to the biggest spender in terms of political donations. Like, Qatar spends more money than AIPAC.
You don't hear about that ever at all.
What is Qatar spending money for then? What go on then. Tell me all about what Qatar spends its money on. What is Qatar spending its donations on? What do you think Qatar wants that is working against your government or the Democratic Party? So how does Pax Islamica and game theory fit into this theory? Okay, so in order to understand Pax Islamica and game theory, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to get a small pipe style thing, and you're going to want to take a lighter to it, and yeah, basically that's how you get there. Of course, that is a joke. I am not advising any of that.
And what they're doing is influencing universities to basically, it's this Islamo communist alliance, which is,
By the way, most university professors, I know this is the case, places that I've engaged with, many of them are quite shaky about taking money or the fact that the university has taken money from dictatorial governments. Like, hold on, let me give you, you could, in fact, just look up a university, go and read up what their professors talk about in the Gulf. It's not like they're just writing puff pieces for the Qatari state. If someone works in Qatar, yeah, they're gonna write puff pieces, but it's a different fucking thing.
It's like a perfect marriage between, the anti-West ideologies, so that they just sit long enough so that they can tear it down and then turn on each other the minute that that they achieve their goals. But right now, their common goals is, tearing down the Western civilization.
If you actually think that Qatar is tearing down Western civilization, then I don't know what to say to you. I genuinely don't know what to say to you. Also, by the way, the reason that Qatar has to spend more money than Israel is pretty obvious, right? It's kind of obvious, right? Like, being pro-Israel is just ingrained into you, whereas being anti-Arab is kind of also actually ingrained into you if you're an American.
And they both believe that is the highest, most important order, right?
But if you want to see how just incoherent of a worldview this actually is, Qatar, falls in the remit of what these people are talking about. What do you think Qatar has of an interest of undermining undermining Western power? Like, what do you think Qatar is? Like, do you think Qatar is like this pro-leftist, pro-democracy state?
Beyond anything. I mean, the left should have no rightful association with the Islamic fucking guard of Iran that outlaws homosexuality, forces gay people to transition, beats women to death for not wearing scarves, disallows music and celebrating in public.
I think that the only alliance that really exists is people don't like Western imperialism. That's it. People don't like Western imperialism. Sure, you can say, and you should definitely say, hi, there are definitely things to criticize 100% about the Islamic Republic. However, we don't like Western imperialism.
Like, what the fuck is leftist about that? Like, that's the most austere, right, conservative, theocratic, autocratic institution there is. There should be no alliance, but their highest, most important ideal is the fall of the West.
Right.
And that's what it is. And that's what I'm seeing happening. And I just think we have to be careful not to underestimate it, because so far, so far.
See, what I see here is a dumbass war hawk who was advocating for a war on Iran that's gone absolutely disastrously. That's your political opinion. Advocate for war on Iran.
I'm not seeing resistance. I see it creeping up and taking over.
Yeah. And I think it's so much of it is being done on social media, and so much of it is outside the actual political sphere, like stuff that's been done to you guys, and now what's happening to David Pakman, right? It's like just like normal humans being treated this.
Do you think that Ethan is now of the opinion that Qatar has caused the issues for him?
Way, and then they consider that the only activism that matters, and so it just feels like it's less. It feels less organized than with the Tea Party, but maybe it's not. Maybe it's just earlier than when I caught on to what the Tea Party was doing.
Yeah, it is. Is it less? I mean, maybe in a sense it is, but like Hassan gives the marching orders. I'm not saying he's like the leader of the left, but he's becoming like his marching orders go.
So.
Like all he does is tweet about David Pakman, and everybody gets the unsaid message. I mean, you can go look at his live chat from when he read his tweet, and I told Pakman.
I am just in awe of this man. I am in awe of this man. I genuinely am just in awe of this man. I don't understand how you think that the people don't like David Pakman because of Hassan. Like, that people can't independently form their own opinions. I think where someone like yourself has been on a year-long campaign to tell your audience that you are the greatest victim of anti-Semitism, that the only reason that people dislike you is because of anti-Semitism. Yeah, you have actually brainwashed your audience into utter fucking rubbish and nonsense. But the truth is that people don't like David Pakman because of who he is.
And here's what's going to happen. Hassan's going to read your tweet on stream tomorrow. And from that moment on, look at the live chat, look at his Discord, look at the discourse on social media. It's going to be a relentless, consistent disinfo campaign to destroy you in every possible conceivable way, even though you're basically 95% allied with them. It doesn't matter.
The video was so tame. Like he mentioned the suit. He mentioned the suit,
which is objectively obscenely
so stupid.
Cringe.
Yeah, so
and
cringe,
something
so
he
cringe.
only started wearing after he came back from China. So.
Exactly. But then, you can see.
Also, I haven't mentioned this at all. If you think that China is trying to destroy and take down Western governments, you are straight up, you are straight up not living in reality. You just are not living in a real world, okay? China could have actually destroyed the West, by the way. They could have 100% have done this. China could have destroyed the West during the financial crisis if it wanted to. You can go look this up. Some guy I was talking to didn't believe this, okay? China was asked by Russia, can you sell your treasury bonds? Because right now it will completely destroy the US economy. China said no. China refused to do a bank run on the US government because they didn't want to, because they're too linked to it. Right now, China has just saved the global economy by destroying 4 million barrels of oil per day. What China could have done is used huge dollar reserves, which they fucking need to spend anyway, by the way. They have they have trillions in dollars. They could use this to... They could use said money to... buy up all the oil and price out and destroy countries that have taken the American side and have upset them. Japan would be the perfect example. But they don't do that because they quite like Western civilization. You are really dumb. And also, by the way, the reason that people are so in awe of China is because China exists right now in the same world that we do. And it is so different there. It is politics done differently. It is a country that is very interested in the green transition. It is one that is so committed to that. It is one that attempts to look after its citizens. It is one that basically is denying the existence of trillionaires, unlike your country. Your country has trillionaires whilst people starve to death in the street and are tortured to death by healthcare companies that refuse to give them insurance companies that refuse to give them basic health care. People are in awe of that, especially coupled with the aesthetics of it. So are you really surprised? That's what scares these people. People go over to it and see it as pretty wow, they're doing something slightly differently than we are, and maybe I kind of have some appreciation. Of course there is political repression in China, but we have that here. We have that here categorically. Seriously, I'm a queer Arab. I don't give a fuck if the only people protecting life are religious, then good. If you want social justice, then stop bombing us. Preach, my man, Lemon Mint Cat. Thank you for the $5, as always. Goated. But yeah, I mean, this is the whole thing. This kind of stuff happened at encampments. I think it's probably quite good if people with socially conservative, religious principles meet people who are supportive of the same causes as them, but are different to them. And I'm not talking here about their weird shit that they're talking about, but I'm talking about the broad-based pro-Palestine movement, where you do see this mix, where you do see queers for Palestine, where you do see people who are still like, yeah, I support Palestine because I'm a Muslim. I think if these people mixed, especially, I actually think this goes much more for conservatives than it does. I don't think really I'm making a point about queer people needing to mix with conservatives, but the inverse, I think that's a good thing because it's the realization that we're all just people. That's the thing. China just doing governments and infrastructure projects. Exactly. I'm not sitting here and saying like China is awesome and amazing, but these people are just upset that, you see this thing that is just awe-inspiring. Like it is, in comparison to your shithole country that is the richest in the world, that has so much more spending power than a country like mine, yet you have people fucking starving to death. That point about how, people like they dig through the streets in Cuba for trash, go and see what people are living like in parts of the UK and parts of America. Go see what they're living. What the fuck is Skid Row?
The whole live chat saying APAC-man, it's the whole chat saying
Jewish, and he's an Argentinian Jew, which is kind of like the word almost as bad as being an Israeli Jew these days for some reason.
Oh yeah, that was the latest. It's weird. You can see these trends going viral about like everyone hating Argentina all of a sudden in the World Cup because
people. By the way, this is a lack of regard for football. People wanted Messi to win previous one. Because, Messi is probably, I think, actually definitively the greatest footballer to ever play during my lifetime. Maybe there are some other fantastic football players in the world who lived before me. I don't know, maybe Platini was really good or some bullshit, or Zidane. Well, he's still alive, but Platini probably is too. I got no fucking idea. But Argentina obviously tarred themselves a bit with the whole thing of, like, the racist song. The thing they sung that was just disgusting and racist. And a lot of those Argentinian players, especially in Anglosphere, if you watch the Premier League, people fucking hate them. This is the thing, by the way, about the discourse. People hate Enzo Fernandez anyway. Ask most football fans, they fucking hate Enzo Fernandez. They hate Romero. They hate Emi Martinez. All of these players are already hated, okay? There was obviously this manufactured narrative that started with Messi there, being in, going and kissing the Western Wall and whatever, and like going on a Barcelona team trip, and people starting to be like, it's a proxy for Israel and whatever. But people are always engaging in different stuff. Qatari Oiler, thank you for the $5. China does politics different. Yeah, Chris, that's the problem, Dirt. China is Islamo-communist, and Ethan Klein is trying to prevent that.
Of Israel somehow, right? Because their president is a fan of Netanyahu or something. Like, that's nothing to do with.
I also think it really didn't hope that Ben Gvir was like, I love you, Israel. I love you so much. No, sorry, I love you, Argentina. Please win.
Fucking Messi?
There's a picture of him at the Western Wall wearing a kippah, so that I feel like that's what set it all off, which is kind of insane considering he went there on a tour with his whole team, and I think it's one of the fucking biggest attractions in the world.
Right.
Certainly.
Also, I will quibble that. La Boo Boo. I don't think that is. I don't think that is like a thing of like it's one of the biggest attractions in the world. I don't think it is, because as a Mexican choosing between my peoples, to be fair, I did start getting annoyed as a Brit when it was the Euros final and people were like, yeah, I'm supporting Spain because England are colonized, and I was like, you motherfucker. But England sucked. If people were like, England are racist as shit, English fan culture is pretty fucking racist. Like, it's fair enough. Like, and if people started posting photos of Starmer and Herzog together, I wouldn't give a shit. As a Mexican, a Chinese person has never called me a monkey, but multiple Argentinians have for years. Yeah, I mean, I think the thing is like, unfortunately, from most places, there are very racist people. And I think Argentina doesn't help that for some reason they have loads of racists in their fucking football team. Thanks for the $5, Angel Shot. Who needs an angel shot?
Middle East to go there and visit the Western Wall, one of the most historically important sites in the world. So,
Right.
Or multiple religions.
For Christians too. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah, exactly. So, yeah, I obviously what happened with Pac-Man, there was no need for the reaction, but Hassan is so fragile, he can't take even like the lightest criticism, and he has to make it seem like the entire revolution is being attacked, you know?
This is the Stalin playbook, and that's how it is, right? Any perceived...
Oh, this is the Stalin playbook. If this is the Stalin playbook, then Mr. Klein, you have ripped a page straight out of Joseph Goebbels and Hitler's beliefs about Bolshevism.
Dissension is punishable by death.
Yep.
Now, obviously, that's hyperbolic, but that's what Stalin did. And the ends justify the means. Like, there's no bad methods, only bad targets. That is the playbook. And you see it coming out now. And just watch what happens to Pac-Man. This is only the beginning. Now that he's thrown the gauntlet down and proclaimed himself an enemy of the movement.
Yeah. Oh, he's going to be called a Zionist forever. All this shit's going to happen. People, I mean, it's going to be the same thing that happened with you guys. Like, it's like so, it's been so disappointing to see how quickly people just believe what they're told because they don't want to be considered a bad person, but they won't like
that. I deal with that like every week with Teddy Fresh.
It's insane.
And the irony is like,
but meanwhile they're going after a small business. Like I'm just a small business in LA. I hire locals. I donate to charities. You know, like so you're just tearing down somebody in your own community.
I thought I'd been lied to. I thought I'd been lied to. What you don't understand is the Qatari government has launched one of the sickest and most evil attacks on a small business. I'm actually a small businessman myself. And before I heard this, I was actually of the opinion that, you know, I was actually of the opinion that this was wrong, but now a small business is involved. As a small businessman myself who sells memberships and Labubu memberships.
Labubu.
I appreciate this. So I think, guys, what you need to do is support small business, aka Trevor Troves, but thanks for the $2, a $7 million business. Is that how much it's worth? But I see the chat taking the chat finds this funny. This is a small business. You don't understand. This is a small business. As a small businessman myself, both and pardon if you'll pardon the pun, because I'm not the tallest of gents, and I'm also, I'm a small businessman. I own a small business. I run a small business. It's really something to hear this kind of stuff happening to another small business. Like I love small business.
Mm-hmm.
Because somehow I'm an evil Zionist.
It's even worse because you have one.
I think it really, really doesn't help when your husband is like, I really want to go to the state of Israel to make videos about how there's a different side to it.
This model, it doesn't matter who, but one person with like a Palestinian flag who I feel like is just has to be just a snarker trolling comments, because why else are they in Teddy Fresh? Comment section, right? One comment was 0 likes, right? Saying, wow, I can't believe you work with the Zionists. And then the person has this whole long fucking apology response about how it's so important that they don't support. But like, meanwhile, you don't know anything about Hila other than that she's Jewish and Israeli. Right. And now you're going out of your way to disassociate.
There are videos of this lady saying, I am proud to serve in the IOF. Like there are just straight up videos of her saying this. I am proud to serve in the IOF. This notion that she's just like a random small businesswoman, which I like that part, but, I think it's tough because first they came for the IOF soldiers, but I didn't speak out. Then they came for the small businessmen, and I did have to speak out because I am actually a small businessman myself.
La boo-boo.
Oh, thank you for the 5 Canadian. I will be spending that on Timbits, wherever the fuck I'm not seeing it. I'm seeing it now. Okay. I hated Argentina because their president is a Trump minion, nothing to do with Israel. That is a totally fair opinion. He is also really creepy. She's so slimy for framing it like that. Comes out of Teddy Fash takes advantage, outspoken POC models by not disclosing their details of their company or their controversies. Yeah, you're right. It is a strange framing. It is a very odd framing. Also, I'm sorry, I can't actually check how many of you are watching over on Twitch, but it was a decent amount last time. And so, as I always say, if anyone wants to throw me a prime, feel free. Feel free. I know some, well, maybe there won't be many with them, but if anyone has them, throw me a prime. And if you're not following, fucking follow now. And also, same goes for YouTube. Anyone wants to become a member, feel free.
With someone because they're Jewish, essentially.
And say that now that they know, they're not going to work with me. That's all it takes.
Right. You just get bombarded by a bunch of people saying the same thing. And then that...
Wow. Islamo-communist doctrine says that we must attack small business owners. So I'll give Hila props. She's right on that one. Yeah, the Islamo-communism. They've come to a collaboration of we must attack small business owners. We must. Then when it's time to sow, we are so rich and successful. Did we mention we love the genocidal state of Israel? Then when it's time to reap.
But just how easily you're these leftists, they have these high...
I love burgers! Langium, I'm priming so hard. My God. Thank you so much for supporting the channel.
Ideals, like they're the champion of equality and progressiveness, but then like on the drop of a dime, when it costs them a single fucking mote of anything or discomfort, it's they're so happy to immediately be racist to fit in.
And the crazy thing is, if these people just said, "I'm going to do my own research, thanks," these people,
I'll look into it. Yeah, exactly.
They would go away because they know it doesn't fucking work.
No,
like,
they would harass
win.
that person.
That's not gonna be enough. Yeah.
It's just insane, and it's crazy how quickly they just want to like. They've like figured it out that it is easier for these people to just stop working with you, stop associating with you, and so they just
that's why I feel like it is dangerous, because they are taking advantage of Democrats and left-leaning people, because they know they ultimately want to do the right thing.
Yes.
And they're taking advantage of that.
Yes, 100%.
Right.
They're like, it's like if the Republicans prey on people's fear, these people are preying on people's desire to be good, right?
Yeah,
to be good inside, right?
Yeah.
And so they're like, well, I don't.
What do you think this is? What do you think you're doing? You're appealing to people's desire to be good. That should be what you're trying to do. That's what politics is about: being good, making sacrifices so we can live in a better world and a better society. Like, what are you fucking talking about? The only thing that your political program actually revolves around is a fear of Islamo-communism, fear of the Republican Party, fear of right-wing politics. Because, oh my God, they might be worse. Fear of people to the left of you. Fear of fucking everything. I love burgers! Saint Class, a mystic train is coming. I don't know what the hell that means, but thank you so much for the Prime. Thank you for 3 months of Prime. Incredibly kind.
Don't even want to like.
And whoever said these two hosts are sycophants, my God, once again, I think that this is the most dangerous thing for someone's mental health, is that you should not have people who surround you and just tell you yes. You should have people who say no, who say this is wrong. You need to think about your worldview. This is, by the way, has happened with the Labour Party. When the Gaza genocide started and people were really pissed, like old school Labour people referred to people leaving the party as shaking off the fleas. And it's like, realize that people are angry and are upset because they've woken up to something incredibly important.
If one person is saying this person's a Zionist, I don't even want to like act. I don't even want to look like I'm even a little bit close to that. Yeah. It's just easier for me to step back and pat myself on the back. But like, just do ask anything. Like these people are just young and impressionable, and it's so fucking frustrating to watch it.
But I don't know. I see it getting worse and more.
So the people on screen, this is girl with a microphone and gentleman. I'm not sure who the gentleman is. I don't know who the gentleman is, but the girl with a microphone.
More severe and more urgent. And I mean, I don't know what to do, but these people are real nasty. They're violent. They're hateful. They're fucking hijacking our system.
Yaz Flute, thank you for subscribing with Prime. These people are. Thank you for supporting the channel. I don't know what he's even fucking talking about at this point. They're doing what now? They're being violent?
Systems and morals, and I mean, just like MAGA, right? They're using these systems, the institutions against themselves.
La boo boo. Carrie.splash, thank you for the 7 Canadian. Chris, don't you know Gila is a small business? She imports and exports big containers through the Strait, Singapore Malacca Strait. I mean, she 100%.
They're using our high ideals of free speech and liberty and democracy and diversity and all this stuff. They're turning it on itself to eat itself, and then basically to get rid of it all. Like Hassan is not a fucking liberal; he's an authoritarian.
Yeah,
he doesn't give a fuck about free speech.
He doesn't
cares
care about
his
or
speech.
democracy. Yeah, he wants to. He thinks that when the revolution happens, he'll be safe because he is on this side.
Recently, when the black community, I guess, was pushing back, the way he talks about them.
Oh yeah, I don't give a fuck about what black people think. Yeah, exactly. And the mask slips, but nobody gives a fuck.
Yeah.
Right.
Ethan, you're like the king of doing. You're probably one of the most famous YouTubers who non-stop engages in blackface. I'm not sure we should be listening to what you have to say about the black community. What do the black community think about your blackface? Maybe you should go and talk to them in your blackface.
Yeah, I mean, black activists have been sounding the alarm about people like Hassan and Hassan specifically for years. I follow a lot of them, and so it is frustrating to see like the backbone of the Democratic Party not be listened to, especially by these like young, arrogant pseudo intellectuals that actually don't know anything, but they just desperately don't want to look like they aren't good people, that they aren't in with like what the zeitgeist of the moment is.
I also find it really, 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 really funny that this is what you're talking about when you're like, oh, the black community. I love burgers! The black community is you're doing the same thing talking about the black community. That would constitute the exact same thing of not wanting to be racist. Also, Nox, thank you for the 4 months of the Prime. Thank you so much. Long live the Cuns. My goat. We also just hit the level 1 mystic hype train or whatever the hell. Mythic hype train, excuse me.
Is like it's this combination thanks to social media.
Yeah, I prefer young, arrogant pseudo-intellectuals versus old, repugnant anti-intellectuals, aka the H3 podcast and this lady.
Media of like morality and also popularity that just like clouds their judgment completely and just doesn't have them asking any questions.
So is this, so sorry, I feel like we should probably check this. Is this what has caused this recent crash out?
I'm just gonna cut to the chase. This is an accountability and an apology video. I majorly fucked up. And I'm eating my own words because one thing that you'll see me say on every platform and interview and advice to any new creator is to do your research, to research everything, to not depend on agents or anybody. It is on you, and this was on me. This was 100% my fuck up. If you don't know what I'm talking about, as of yesterday, a few of my followers on different apps let me know that they saw my image used in a teaser for an upcoming makeup campaign. Once I did the research that I should have did initially when I signed up to do the shoot, a little bit of research about the brand, I realized that not only are we in opposition as far as how I understand and feel about the genocide in Gaza, but that also this is a very popular and controversial and bigoted couple. And
oh, I bet that drove them crazy. I bet that drove them fucking crazy. Wow. I bet that upset them so fucking much.
I learned all this in the last 12 hours. Sorry if I'm smiling. I'm smiling because I'm so fucking nervous. And on top of that, they have done this before in the sense of they have booked a model who had a pretty good following on social media, and the model probably just took the gig like me because they were reached out to them like they were this small, unknown makeup brand, and they used the model's apology on their...
Okay, I don't like this lady now. They're a small business. They're a fucking small business, okay? They're a small business!
Podcast where they say a lot of controversial, horrible things to get the model double canceled and to use it as some kind of outrage marketing tactic, another black model. If you don't know who I'm talking about, the brand that I'm talking about is a brand called Teddy Glow. I had never heard of Teddy Glow. This producer girl had DM'd me, and then she emailed me, and she was like, I'm a huge fan of you. I'm working on a small campaign with this like small new beauty line, and they have a small...
Hey, thank you for the $2, Knox. They act like Paige Christie didn't clock Ethan's BS. No, you're being a leftist there. Stop that.
Budget. And I was like, you know what? Whatever. Lunch money is lunch money. That's what we call it, like in my family. Like lunch money. Like I need this lunch money. I need money to like get around. Just like transparency check. Black models have been seeing work get pulled back in a way that is reflective of what's going on in politics in a very real way. Black women are being punished in every form of work in America. You can see it from the black women being laid off in corporate to the black writers being let go at Vogue, and also in the black model industry. Just for context, I have been on 3 curve boards that have been fully liquidated, meaning 3 agencies that I've been with probably in the last 3 to 4 years have completely gotten rid of their curve board and kept me, which would make some people feel really good, but for me, it's just disgusting because I'm on the smaller spectrum of curve. I'm a privileged person, so to me it was a very hard symbol about where the industry was going, and it wasn't going in the direction that we had built the momentum for in the pandemic, talking about body inclusivity and black people and all the things. So just to be transparent, money has been funny, okay? I've had to lean more into social.
Scouty Paws, thank you so much for the subscription with a Prime. And, what was I going to say? Sorry, lady, I don't want to hear what you have to say. I'm busy reading the instructions on your sunblocker panel above you. More interesting. Thank you for that comment, Politics.
To lean more into just other ways to make a living, and by the grace of God I've been okay, but that just speaks to a little bit like where my mind has been. So I was like, oh, this is Kismet. This young producer girl from Miami is reaching out to me. She knows what I'm about, and I just trusted it. I trusted it, and I didn't have anybody on my team kind of look through it, and even if they did look through it, it is not their responsibility, it is mine. This is my career, this is my reputation, and I know better to not research things. I know better to just always research, and so this is my bad, and there's no excuse, and I'm sorry. I'm so mortified. I'm just putting on a brave face to make this video because I tried to make a video yesterday, and when I tell you I was crying, I was wailing through the whole video, and all I could think about, like, if somebody did something offensive to black people and they decided to put up a 10-minute video of them crying and snotting, I would be like, save the white tears. You know what I mean? So I'm definitely trying to put a brave face on and just be honest and be like, I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. There's no excuse to not do research, to not vet every single person you work with. And on top of that, you can't really speak for like people's mentality or whatever, but I'm just gonna be transparent with you guys. I do feel like this was a setup and a bit intentional for the brands to make some kind of out.
Also, by the way, just don't. I feel like I'll just delete comments if just don't mention Ethan's kids, because it'll just upset him and just give him something to whine about if he ever becomes interested. So, and also just the guy does sue a lot of people, so just don't mention his kids.
Rage marketing campaign. And I say all this because as soon as this all happened in the last 48 hours, by the way, one of my followers.
Yeah, I'll finish this here. If anyone wants to watch the whole thing, you can check it out here. But this, I see why he's in like a fugue state, like Walter White pretends to be in he's in like a fugue state. Yeah, no one said anything like particularly offensive, and he's made his kids public, before. But yeah, just don't mention it because it's something to annoy him. Yeah, it's 1984.
Questions or having any like critical thought. It's very annoying and scary to see.
And so one thing I'll say about this leftist movement too is that the Tea Party, they operate out of fear, but I feel like the leftist party, they operate from bad malice and bad faith. They lie. They knowingly lie to achieve their goals. They don't care that they're lying, right? And that's like the Goebbels level of fucking propaganda that you like on the right, they foment fear. Okay?
Through
on the
misinformation
left,
as well.
They lie because the lie is the ends to the mean. They know the truth and they don't care.
I feel like if you're talking about what the left does as a whole, you're a fucking idiot, because the concept of the left is so incredibly broad. Like, what does this even mean? That the left? Who is the left? What is the left?
Care about the truth. It's repeating the lie enough that it becomes the truth. Which, look like what they've done to me and what they're going to do to Paxton.
Very upsetting.
And
I like a little ad lib. Very upsetting. It is true. Who is not upset? Who is not upset by this? What the fuck is this Israel loving dipshit saying? I at this point, this man is genuinely living in just a world of delusion and conspiracy and insanity. I thought he was going to back out of this and stop doing it, but no. He's still refusing to mention his fucking thing about Noah, which is really interesting. I really don't know what's going on there.
It's real.
By the way, I mean, yeah, even the concept of talking about the left generally is so fucking insane, because how would you talk about that? Because it's so broad.
Real sinister, real nasty what's brewing there. And I just hope people don't underestimate it and keep a close watch on it, because I mean, look at Hassan. This man electrocuted his dog on stream. Anybody with a fucking brain knows that it's undebatable, right? Lies about it to his audience for so long, then gets on stage and says they can call me many things, but they can't call me a liar, to his audience cheering. I mean, this is like this is like 1984, like you know.
It's just like my chat. It's just like my chat.
The minute of fear, or whatever. There's a bunch of fucking psychopaths yelling at the screen just because that's what they need to do to fit in.
Yep. Yeah, the fitting in piece of it is really insidious, and I think he knows that, and he knows how to manipulate it, and it's really gross. You know, because he's like the cool leftist, and if you don't agree with everything he says, then you're not just uncool, you're also this horrible person who loves genocide and kills babies, and like nobody wants.
By the way, it's so funny saying this. Doesn't Harley Morenstein... Isn't Harley Morenstein still doing this? Like, Harley Morenstein still does this, right? He's still, like, just out there denying the genocide in Gaza. Okay, here it is. Okay, so this is a recent one from this. No government or major international body considered it a genocide on October 8th. Anyways, I don't support genocide or war or making people starve. Do you know what date it was declared a famine and what date it was declared a genocide? Jesus Christ. PM Godin, thank you for the $5. That'll get me like 1 billion Timbits. Ethan keeps talking about the left lies or Hassan's lies while never saying what lies are said. What are the lies? That he shocked his dog. That must be it. That's it. That's it. Thank you so much.
Wants to feel that way, especially, and they don't want to feel ostracized from their group. And it really is like a cult, like very culty behavior where they have their own language, where they.
By the way, sorry, I'm just watching this guy. Look at him up there, like
really
blinking.
Is like a cult, like
he's. The angle is so repugnant. Karl Marx and his Islamo-Communist Party, the Islamo-Communist Manifesto.
Very culty.
By the way, this Islamo-Communist stuff is written by, like, genuinely the dumbest people in the world on the internet. It wouldn't surprise me, by the way, if Ethan Klein engages with illegal bonds content.
Behavior where they have their own language, where they shun people, where they punish people. Like they all sit there and watch Hassan yell at and humiliate people in chat. It's the same shit like Keith Raniere did in Nexium and all these other cults. Like the public.
It's time for the minute of fear or whatever. Thank you for the 20 NOK. The fuck is the minute of fear? Also, what are you talking about? Like, it's undeniable that Hassan has a humongous audience, especially for a content creator, you know. As someone like myself who's trying to grow one, it's hard to, you know, break, like, you know, I get about 300 to 400 viewers, and I'm pretty happy with that. But breaking, like, getting to the highs of, like, 30,000 viewers, that's insane to think about. But the majority of people just aren't watching that. They aren't watching that.
Humiliation is, like, a huge piece of keeping people in line because they don't.
This is actually what Big Brother would be like in the 21st century. Instead of that guy looking over the crowd, it's just Ethan going, like, right up to the camera.
Want Hassan to do that to them. It's like it's a very high control group over there, and it's not good. That is true. Cult of personality, yeah. Mm-hmm. It's very, very destructive.
I know there's stuff I want to say, but it's evaded me. Anything else you want to say? No. I was thinking, what else? Yeah, I mean, listen, lying is probably the thing I hear most commonly about Hassan.
Right,
and this guy
that
can
was
go up
wild.
on stage and tell them, they don't ever call me a liar. And it's like, okay, dude. He's kind of almost testing the limits to which he can lie.
Yes, yeah. It's like spitting in our face to say that.
Yeah.
Right. And they're all like, yes, king, because again, the truth doesn't matter. The truth does not matter.
Imagine being, my dream is to get into a room with 655 people and get you all amped up about hating Israel because it's a settler colonialist project.
Because the truth does not serve whatever they think the cause is, right? Whatever it is, you're allowed to just say whatever you want to whoever you want. It doesn't matter if it actually impacts politics or policy at all. Like attacking you guys does fucking nothing for anybody in Gaza, for anything in even like U.S.
And what does attacking Hassan do?
Politics. But it lets them just like say, I did activism, I can go to bed tonight. It's trash.
And then I think the genocide that's happening has been so good for their movement. And I say that with fully aware of how fucked up it is, because it gives them the leverage of control to accuse someone of the worst thing you can be. Until then, you could call someone, you could call them racist, you could call them transphobic, homophobic, you could call them a pedophile maybe if you really stretch it out, you know.
Like you literally employ someone who does this shit.
Stretch out. I mean, Hassan obviously does that. He has a joke even in his community that's like, oh yeah, enemies are pedophiles. But what they have now is the ultimate lever of control. If you don't agree that Hassan looks good in his Mao suit, you support genocide. Like it's so useful. It's so useful for them. It's so useful. It's so good for their movement.
It's trash. Yeah. And that's what I said towards the end is that we need to remember and maybe repeat it to ourselves. Like you can criticize a person and that doesn't mean that you disagree with the.
Do we get free beers for hating Israel? Funding Friday, by the way. FitTT, thank you so much for instituting Funding Friday, my man. Thank you so much for a new trend. Thank you as always. I can't guarantee free beers. I can guarantee you half a Red Stripe, or half a can of pre-drunk Red Stripe.
Movement that they are a part of, right? Like criticizing Hassan does not mean you're criticizing any politics or any policies. Like he is worthy of criticism on his own behalf, and he hides behind this cause, right? And he makes it seem like if you criticize him, you cannot be part of this of the left at all, and it's just fucking bullshit.
Well, it's becoming real because
he
has the media apparatus falling in line, like Kyle Kalinske, the Majority Report, and all these and Vosh and all these types of people who are falling in line, you know, and saying, "Oh yeah, they play along."
If I ever start behaving like this, I hope that I have a loving partner. I hope that my girlfriend just tells me, "No, no more of this. This has to stop. Your behavior is unhinged."
With the misinfo game where it's just like, oh yeah, Ethan, that Zionist, he's just psychosexually obsessed with you. That's why he's criticizing you. Whatever fucking dumb shit they're dreaming of. And these people just tap dance along with it, right? Because they're afraid, they're all captured, audience captured by these fucking psychopaths. And we've glimpsed inside of these private snarker Discord rooms. We know how they operate, how they think, why they do it and what they do. We've seen firsthand, we've peeked behind the curtain.
What is this? What on earth is this? This man is just...
None of them actually care about anything. Like that is what I gathered from looking
it's their
at all the
full-time
stuff.
job to just bother people and fuck with
being
people.
Hateful. Yeah.
It's like they love the ideal of being the hero and fighting and being like the morally superior, but ultimately they are just nihilistic accelerationists. Like
and
like to
harassers,
them,
stalkers.
Yeah. And I mean, and a lot of these people we have identified and know who they are, and none of them.
It's incredible as well that like all of these people, you guys literally, when the Cuba discourse was at its peak, you used that to literally bash Hassan. Your government is rebuilding an empire which already existed in Venezuela, across South and Central America, okay? But they're certainly shoring up control over it. They're literally, they have a colony, they have a country that they just rule over, that, you know, some weird Miami Cuban guy who is just ruling over. You have a president who murdered hundreds of children in a singular strike on a school, doesn't give a shit, keeps on doing it in a war that you supported. Are you really surprised that people want to excommunicate you from anything called the left? And also, by the way, acting as if this is some new advent. Like, what are you talking about? This kind of wrestling in politics for trying to push political parties leftwards and what should be done about creating left-wing politics. It's not something that started with Hassan or the Gaza genocide or that is new. It's something that's existed for a very long time.
Have jobs. They're all miserable. A lot of them have criminal histories. And they're already disenfranchised from their family for being fucking insane. These are like the most dejected shit stains of fucking the dregs of society, and they're nihilistic, and they you know.
By the way, I just want to reiterate something here. When it comes to talking about dregs of society, Hillary Clinton launched one of the biggest fuck ups in the case of I will have a look at this Rabbi Mizrahi clip. Is it the one about gold? Okay, maybe I'll look at it. But the what was I about to say? Oh no, I've lost my train of thought. Oh, this kind of wrestling has existed for a really long time. Just seriously, it's bloody crazy. Wait, I'll go back so I can remember.
They're already disenfranchised from their family for being fucking insane.
Oh, no, sorry. It was about the basket of deplorables thing. The basket of deplorables thing comes from a Hillary Clinton comment. It's a dumb comment. Your movement, you should be moving more like Eugene Debs in how he spoke. Eugene Debs said, like, when I rise, the masses rise with me. These people are like, you are a poor degenerate. I am a multimillionaire with an expensive watch on stream who rules over my employees with an iron fist. That is what Ethan Klein fears most. Freedom from the tyranny of the Kleiniverse.
Like the most dejected shit stains of fucking the dregs of society, and they're nihilistic, and they you know, I think Hassan's negativity and the hate that he spews and all that stuff appeals to them because they fucking want to participate in it. It makes them feel good.
Well, yeah, and he has a choice, right? He has a choice of what message to give to these people who are feeling frustrated, and his choice is not to.
What choice was your message? Joseph fucking Goebbels? Joseph Goebbels? I am fearful of the scourge of Judeo-Bolshevism Part 2. And by the way, if you, I don't know if you kind of realize this, most of those people who really fucking liked Hitler and liked the kind of politics that Hitler is interested in are literally now just nice to Jewish people because they know that it will cause problems for this. I have one of the best quotes that you will ever see. One of the best quotes you will ever see that proves exactly this. It's actually kind of funny. It's from, hold on, just give me a second. I need to get access to the article. It's from an Austrian far-right guy called Jörg Haider. Why is it not letting me? Oh my God. Give me 1 second. Sorry, I'm just trying to get myself access to this. Here you go. It's actually the Kent Ekeroth one. Read this. We are here to cooperate. Part of the problem is that we have problems with Jewish organizations in Europe. They work against us. They call us racists, anti-Semites, blah, 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 all that. And I think pressure from Israel can help us in the long time legitimize our parties. Okay, so Kent Ekeroth is like a Swedish far-right fucker. But listen to this one from Jörg Haider. So Jörg Haider reported being told by his successor, Heinz Christian Strache, if the Jews accept us, then we won't have any problem. And this is a strategy that Strache seems to have adopted. They don't care about Jews. They don't care about Jewish people. You are spouting the same shit that those Nazis once spouted because the people who were once the Nazis now dance around Israel and fucking love it because it's the way that they can spread the same shit as you about Islamo-communists.
Power them and connect them with actions that'll actually be like a positive change for them. His choice is to weaponize them against people he doesn't like. Like it's valid. Like it's valid for these people to be like, I can't make ends meet, and I want to find people who support like Hassan says, universal healthcare and universal housing and things like that. But what he does with them, he doesn't show them ways to get to those steps.
Never.
What's your recommendation of the step? Vote for the Democratic Party and treat anyone who criticizes them as Hitler?
Weaponizes them. He like taps into their anger.
This is the reason you don't have healthcare. Ethan.
Yes, Ethan Klein is the reason. Klein.
To be fair, Healer and Ethan does regularly show off his watches. By the way, saying all of this shit when you've just been caught, like mocking Hassan's audience for being unemployed, and also saying that you know, you also saying and showing off about how much money you have is just insane.
Isn't it crazy that Israelis have healthcare and not Americans? Ethan's a Zionist, by the way.
Exactly. And now we have APAC-men too on board.
The Young Turks, of course, are totally falling in line. I challenge any of you guys listening to find me one leftist who's critical of Hassan. Just then, I mean,
there is a certain leftist who you do not like. I think I've criticized Hassan, especially over the couple of weeks. But if you want to find them, they're all in my fucking YouTube chat.
David Peckman, right? He went off the path there for just slightly for a minute. Because they're saying, find me one person on the left, a liberal, who's criticizing Hassan. Find it.
Besides you and me.
Yeah, well, obviously, Mike. The point is
I mean,
that
Hutch
like
does,
I
but
want
he's
to
not
show.
really far left. Yeah.
No, Hutch does, but he's. I wish he was more popular. I don't think Hassan sees him as a threat, but he certainly shits on him regularly anytime he gets a chance. Yeah.
Whenever he does get a chance, he does attack him.
Yeah.
I like Hutch a lot.
Yeah, me too. Hutch is great.
He's a very
Shout out
like,
Hutch.
yeah, he's like a reasonable voice right now. So if you're looking for a place to watch your
And
politics,
Pac-Man too,
it's
right?
not bad. Yeah.
And Pac-Man, he's like the best.
He's bold. He's bold.
Among us, he's a very principled, reasonable, liberal who believes in all the right things socially and economically. He has his head on straight. He's reasonable. He is smart. He is informed. But like none of that matters because ultimately.
Hassan's better at playing the game.
I don't even know what's
That's
the difference.
What it is.
Hassan wants to, and ultimately it is true. Like if in this revolution, there's always going to be someone worse and more extreme, like Bad Empanada, who's going to want to put Hassan's head on a pike. But it's so far off. There's a reason they call him Piker. No, I'm kidding. I don't know why I said that. But Bad Empanada would want to do that. And I mean, they've already turned on each other, right? They're always going to be more extremists.
Yep.
And it's never. Basically, yeah, they're always pushing it.
By the way, there are literally a ton of liberal leftists who are not nowhere near as politically radical as Mr. Empanada that really do not like Hassan. They are 10 a penny. You can find many of these people.
Yeah, and I mean, Hassan's not going to be safe from that either if he gets. I don't think Hassan actually wants to live in a fucking communist dystopia. he just likes the I think he just likes feeling important and the center of something. And he likes making money and he likes attention and he likes being able to have girls send them their titties to him on Snapchat, which he shares liberally with all of his friends all the time.
Yeah, it's pretty cool stuff. Like that for me, like as a feminist, like I have never, and some people think that
How about you talk about Ethan wanting to platform a sex pest who literally, he knew he was a sex pest and he literally said, "I'm trying to protect you, Mr. Sex Pest."
I was hired to be a Hassan hater. And I'm like, girl, I've been hating Hassan since like 2016 or earlier. Like, I am not new to this. I'm true to this. And a big piece of that is of the feminist lens with which I see the world. Like, he is a terrible misogynist. He also doesn't give a fuck about gay rights, trans rights, black. We've heard him say, "I don't give a fuck about what black people want." Like, he sees all of that as identity politics. But like, he's teaching this whole generation of young people that there's only one way to be a leftist, and a white straight guy has to lead it, and you can only care about economics. But there, like I said in the segment, like there are all these women of color, people of color, trans people that are like actual activists doing actual leftist work who understand that all of those things are connected, and sometimes economics is not like the leading oppressor, but he just wants to fucking
What on earth are you talking about?
Can't wave that away because it doesn't matter.
Imagine Mr. Sampson. Hello. No, I'm still more intrigued as to why he refuses to mention you. Imagine being this obsessed with one guy, like your entire adult family and all your employees 24/7. Well, the thing is his own audience doesn't really like this anymore. In the same way that, you know, it's like, I don't want to talk about Ethan and every single thing he does constantly because it's boring. But like, this guy has imagine I just had like a dedicated person, one of you who I just employed to come on and tell me this is why we should hate Hassan.
Matter to him. He just wants to keep his own identity centered. And so I have criticized him hard for a long, long time in different spaces. And yeah.
I also don't really understand this. Like, by the way, this is the perfect example of like using identity politics to bash them when you don't give a fuck about it when your own boss is doing it. Like, what did your boss say about Madison?
it's just a perk that you guys also fucking hate
That's
him.
it.
You know what I mean? Like, he fucking sucks.
Yeah.
He sucks.
Yeah, he does.
I don't get it. I don't get it. And I love you guys, and I'm sorry that this is still ongoing. It is so unfair because it makes, for a zillion reasons, but for the people that think they're doing some kind of activism, it doesn't make any difference. None of this makes any difference.
Makes them feel good.
You're just like shooting poison into the world. You're not affecting any kind of change. It's disgusting and it's fucking lazy. It's lazy and
but
it's
it makes
cruel.
them feel good.
Yes, at the end of the day.
God, they're like, I got that fucking dirty Zionist Jew. He's so fucked.
They can get their Daddy Hassan points. But
once again, like, do you notice how this man tries to make everything about anti-Semitism? He just was like, dirty Jew in relation to Hassan. Like, when's Hassan calling people dirty Jews? You actually are more happy to associate with people who are anti-Semites.
The day, and he won't yell at them in chat. Like, it's just trash.
Well, and I mean, listen, there's a reason people are still obsessed with this because Hassan talks about me all the time. I have made a point to not, I'm like, don't want to discuss him on the show anymore just because it's so fucking boring and repetitive. Like, he doesn't have any problem just doing that forever.
You just did a 40-minute call about how he's Hitler. You employ someone who just tweets them.
And he still constantly is bringing me up, like, I mean, basically on a weekly, or bi-weekly, several times a week basis. So, you know, he's keeping the marching orders standing.
Right. Well, and I think it's important to speak up when other Democrats are challenging him, because, like you said, like it's this like circle of intimidation, right? Where
it's also kind of fucking crazy that there's just no smoke and in fact just like love for Destiny in this. If you're upset about the things Hassan has done in his past, Destiny has an active court case which is actually being, you know, which actually kind of like involves like literally someone who you've had on your show cut ties with Destiny as a result of this happening to one of their friends. I mean, the Pixie, her case, and Lonabox literally had to cut off relations with Destiny because of it. So, you know,
if you criticize Hassan, everyone just like turns their back on you and goes quiet. But it doesn't have to be like that. So I think if we call it out, hopefully more people will be like, oh my God, you're right. Like, I've been thinking about how weird and like arrogant and ego driven Hassan is for a while. And, you know, I didn't think that other people felt like me. I felt like I was crazy, but you're not crazy.
So support Pac-Man because his analysis outfit is cringe.
It's
Even if
so
you agree with his
cringe.
politics, we have the this man is walking cringe. Okay, it's out of control. You cannot. He's walking around in a Maoist fucking Empire from Star Wars fucking type of uniform. I mean, what are we doing?
Corny as fuck.
Corny ass fucking
fuck.
bitch.
That's what it comes down to.
All right, thanks, guys.
We love you guys.
All right, bye-bye. Have a good show.
Bye.
Thank God thank God. Jesus Christ. It is shocking that the man somehow works out and cooks up new schemes to just get worse and worse and worse. The title of this video, by the way, is Hassan sicked his audience on...
Welcome to the Burger Reich.
Oh, someone's just done something. 11 months. Hell for Michelle. Wow. Thank you for all the members. It's always appreciated. Always, always, always. Let's have a look at the comments then. I wish I could. What does that do? I guess I could collapse this. There we go. Ethan is no longer allowed to call in while chewing gum. Be so vocally. She always articulates my thoughts. By the way, someone who thinks that if she is articulating your messages, I love burgers, and your thoughts about the world, end those thoughts now. You need to engage in thought termination of those. Also, gingerbread fetus. Thank you so much for the prime, as always. Goated memberships, primes, they help, and anyone who's able to donate as well, as always. Thank you so much. God, this is just... Kate, you killed this episode.
Welcome to the Burger Reich.
Jesus fucking Christ. Your ability to sow a thread of reason is in a digestible, moderated way is a rare skill. I have to see if this is a real person. I can't believe this. They've been on YouTube since 2013. Oh my fucking God. Hey, Ben Palmon. Thank you for becoming a member. Thank you so much for joining the Burger Reich. God, I know. I wonder what it's called when you associate a certain type of clothing with a particular culture and assume things about the people who wear them. What was that in relation to? Calling them a small bean. H3 fell through the floor. 2 losers in a headsets running the whole thing. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. If I had a better understanding of audio and how to do it, I probably wouldn't use a headset anymore. But I'm an idiot who, you know, is regularly gets a text off some guy, and I always appreciate it, who texts me saying your mic is clipping. Like, I'm just one guy who's, you know, trying to muddle my way through streaming, okay? And these people are multi-millionaires who spend billions on watches.
To the Burger Ike.
Like, why not just fucking get good audio, or set that lady with a microphone up with, you know, something better than just some idiocy? Hey, Paytonic 6510. Thank you so much for becoming a member. Incredibly appreciated. The focus on is Chinese tailoring. Are you not concerned about Chinese tailoring? It's something I worry about. I'm very concerned about it. Oh, my fucking glasses. I can't see. Hold on. I really don't. You know when you just don't want the Zin to end? It's a tough one. Christ alive. Filthy ass glasses. Okay, right, let's have a look. I'll take care of you. Tebababa. Thank you so much, my man. Help cut out any background audio on videos. You show stream, so I don't know, it's okay with me. Yeah, I know, but you can fix it if you have a nice noise gate. Jesse Jean Short, hello, everyone. I think an earpiece does something, though. Also, I'm glad I don't have a full body camera. This vest is too small, and I just have the bottom of my belly poking out, and I do not think that is something you guys are interested in seeing right now. Maybe in a few months' time. You switch it out and take another. Yeah, but I don't want to have, like, 10 Zins a day. It's not good for you. Well, I only have... I've had 3 so far today. Oh my god, there's something going on in the UK. Some kind of Minster Bridge. There's something going on in London. Hold on, let me just check what this says. Oh, there's some sort of boat accident in Westminster Bridge. Okay, it's not some kind of attack. Oh, a police boat struck a bridge. Oh, I thought that I thought there was some kind of incident, like some kind of violent incident, but the police just drove their boat into a bridge. Oh, it's not London Bridge, it's Westminster. I'm glad it's not some kind of just incident. I'm happy to hear about that. Not happy with that, though. Have you watched Operation Recomply? I haven't heard about that. That's an interesting one. Maybe I should. What's not going on in the UK? Yeah, I know. 2 Zinski packs a week. I had to quit. Yeah, I'm not killing 2 a week. Definitely not. 3. I'm trying to have 3 a day is my max, but I'm going to end up having 4 today, which sucks. But oh well, what can you do? I'm not good. Sniff, sniff, sniff. I can't even do that. My new hay fever tabs have been killing it. Did you see they're selling 2 farts for £4 at Wendy's? Wow. Wow. London Bridge did not fall down. There is no UK news going on. The other news that is kind of big is obviously the Iran war related stuff, which I'm totally out of the loop with because I missed one day. I mean, I'm hearing that a former CENTCOM commander is calling for more aggression against Iran. Also, by the way, I was just listening to the recent TrueAnon episode about Lindsey Graham, and I was just thinking, God, Lindsey Graham died. That's fucking insane. I can't believe Lindsey Graham's dead. Do you think Ethan and the gang held like a vigil for Lindsey Graham when he passed away? Mike from PA has a long form video about David Pacman's history of Islamophobia. I'm sure Pacman is an Islamophobe. Well, I don't know for a fact, but I'm sure that there's an argument to be made.
Welcome to the Burger Ike.
Sorry, I've taken my headset off because I'm too hot. They're having a seance to contact the motherfucker. They want to hear back from him. Hey, Kaya, go to place. Thank you for becoming a member at level 1. Incredibly kind. You're going crazy up on those members today. My hair also looks crazy. But thank you so much for supporting the channel. Getting crazy over up in there. Ethan cried over Kirk. Yeah, that was something, to say the least. He cried over Kirk. Cried on stream over Charlie. How much are Zins over there? They're technically not legal here, but you can get them from most convenience stores for like $17. I've tried, but genuinely the only thing that works is Zins. Zins are £5, so that's probably 10 Canadian if you're Canadian. I don't know how many US dollars they are. But yeah, I should have cried on stream over Charlie. I can't believe I stopped streaming like 5 minutes before Charlie Kirk got killed. That's crazy to think about. Charlie Kirk got killed. I don't know if you heard about that. And then Lindsey Graham died. Lindsey Graham just didn't want to experience 1 year after Kirk, and he popped his clogs because of it. I just got what was it? I just got back from Lindsey Graham vigil. It's kind of disrespectful to be streaming right now. The video of the I have seen. Oh shit, that's the story. That's the story. I mean, I don't want to show that, but in case any of you haven't seen it, in the West Bank, in Tel, I think the village is called Tel, I think it's called. West Bank. So in the village of Tel in the West Bank, a Palestinian man was getting attacked by settlers, and he seized his gun and he smoked the settler. He actually killed 2 settlers. I think an Israeli soldier's dead too. It's fucking crazy. Did I just see Riverwand in here? Rip Lindsay. Preach, my man. Good to see you, my man. Yeah, it's like Tel, which is a village near Nablus, maybe? Southwest of Nablus. Yeah, I'm right. So the IOF said Israeli soldiers were going on a hike, but they're not doing that. They just went into area A and B of the West Bank to fucking terrorize Palestinians. And a man snatched a rifle, and I think 6 Palestinians are dead in the West Bank right now. The video is fucking insane. Yeah, I know. Also, I don't know what the remit of what I can say on YouTube is, and I don't want to take away from the fucking tragedy of, like, you know, 4 Palestinians were just killed. But, like, what am I supposed to say? Like, you're telling me that I'm meant to sit there and support these fucking settlers going into Palestinian land and then feel fucking sympathy when one of them gets smoked or something? No, fuck that. Not a chance. These people are monsters driving people out. I also was reading, so if any of you know, like, the theory that basically, you know, that the where the extermination of Jewish people came from in the Nazi Party was because of, like, people under Hitler trying to please him. That came from Ian Kershaw. Kershaw talks in his book about this concept of working towards the Führer, which was like this unspoken thing of you worked to appease Hitler and you did things that you thought would fit within the Hitler's worldview. In Israel, they just have working towards Zionism. It would be better to say working towards Zion, probably, because it just sounds better, but working towards Zionism. In that fucking state, they do nothing about these settlers. Their media constantly is like, oh, a tragedy has happened. Israelis have died in the West Bank. No, they were thieving Palestinian land. How do you have civilians, okay, when you literally build settlements with the explicit purpose of them being on hills to act as lookouts, to monitor Palestinians, to intersect their lives? And it's just like, fuck that. Settlers quite literally, legally, do not have the right to defend themselves. This is just a fact. Yeah, they're occupying Palestinian land. So what am I supposed to say? What am I supposed to say? Killed before. So there have been 6 killed. One was killed in a different area. And another 4 were killed in Kalkilia. I think they were all from the same family. But it's just, yeah, I mean, Hamas of the West Bank are apparently so there's a Hamas chief in the West Bank. Is this guy, I mean, someone might know this. I don't know shit about this, about, like, Hamas's real operating structure in the West Bank. There probably aren't even English people who, many English speakers who would tell you this. You probably need an Arabic speaker. Is this guy just hidden? Just hidden? Hamas West Bank chief vows resistance. Zahar Jabarin, the Hamas chief in the West Bank, says Palestinian bloodshed in Gaza and the West Bank will not go in vain, stressing that resistance against the Israeli occupation will continue. He stated that Palestinians will not submit to what is described as the organized terrorism sponsored by Netanyahu's government, local Palestinian sources reported. The Hamas official urged Arab and Islamic countries to boycott Israel using all available tools and called on Western nations to sanction and boycott Israel. I don't know where this guy is, like where he is. I haven't heard of her. There will be a... By the way, Hamas does operate in the West Bank. They're just kind of like not a big organization. You can look this up. There's a great book on this. Andy Clarno talks about it. From like 2009 onwards, the Palestinian Authority... Well, it was 2007 onwards. They engaged in a massive purge in the West Bank of basically just getting rid of them. The Palestinian Authority got rid of anyone who was affiliated with Hamas. So that's why I actually asked, not because of Israel, but because of the Palestinian Authority. They don't really like Hamas, so the idea that Hamas would be openly operating there is interesting to me, to say the least, because I don't really see how, because the PA doesn't like Hamas. But Hassan wanting to destroy America when he is just a Democrat campaigner at this point. Yeah, I mean, that's the funny thing. It's just incoherent babble. Yeah, Khaled Mishal, but this is not Khaled Mishal. This is Zahar Jabarin, who I don't know anything about. Zahar Jabarin. So it's this guy. Oh, he was present in Doha. So what, is he going between Doha? Left-wing news outlet attributed to Diaf's leadership. Many of the earlier were attributed to Diaf. Interesting. He has led the financial bureau since mid-2010s. Oh, he doesn't live there. That's how. That's how he must not live there. That's how he must do it. He must need in the West Bank. Jabarin was responsible for resumption of Hamas's planning and entire blah, 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 blah. I'm not going to read that term. In 48, in the West Bank, Leahy street bombing was a failed bombing. So he's just not there. No, that's his real name. He's just not there. The PA is Israel. Yes, I know the PA is Israel 100%. I know like all of this stuff. It's just like, yeah, are using the grieving mother to sell Trump's illegal war. Are they? Israeli forces storm Kalkilia, so that's the big checkpoint. The city, so that's where the big checkpoint is. Israel pushing West Bank. Israel attack leaves 5 people injured in Farata village. Here's what's been happening. A deadly shootout. 2 Israeli soldiers were killed, setting off a spree of settler attacks. I wonder what... You know where you should go to find out what the Israeli mood is like. Let's Google and see what Netanyahu has been saying, first of all. He's been talking about DNA and why Israelis are all indigenous. Sorry, when I search Netanyahu, it says Netanyahu post gym video. So he ordered firm military action against the West Bank. What a surprise. But if you want the real barometer of how Israelis are feeling... Just check out what Smotrich is saying. Bezalel. Is he banned? No, he's just called Bezalel SM. He hasn't actually posted anything, I don't think. Ben Gvir. Oh my god, why is it so hard to find these people just by searching their names? Itamar Ben Gvir. Okay, Itamar Ben Gvir posted a eulogy for whoever this fucking settler was, so you can already tell he's a horrible character. I have known dear and beloved Benjamin and Esther for many years. Esther has stayed with us at our home more than once, and Benjamin hired from the illustrious Malt family that devotes its soul for the people of Israel. I followed his tremendous activities. How as a hilltop youth... They're saying it was just like a... They're saying this guy is just like a fucking hiker. Listen to this. This guy's a fucking hilltop youth. This is like the most radical. And, you know, Israel will now crack down on the West Bank, and we'll have to hear all the way in which they're saying that, you know, oh, they are the... we're going to have to hear about how the Israeli settlers have the Israelis have the right to carry out these attacks. So apparently the two people killed are Benyahu Melat and Major Yuval Ezra. So they killed 2 Israeli soldiers. They took his gun. I looked up Chris Kunn's The Gym video and got no results. Please remedy this. I think I'm good. Here we go. Anyway, on Shabbat, he helped... I followed... enlisted in the army to serve the state of Israel. He advanced through the ranks and his soldiers were of endless importance to him. He was always interested, always concerned, always joyful. On Shabbat, he helped his neighbors at the Gilead farm during the fire incident, and even today he left home to assist a group of hikers. There he was murdered for the sanctification of the name. He left behind his dear Esther, to his 2 sweet daughters, an immense and an immense void that cannot be filled. In the Bible, it is told of Ben-Yehoiah. I'm not reading this. May the Lord and the government of Israel, so I hope and act, avenge your blood. Jesus fucking Christ. Indigenous resistance is justified from the river to the sea and from the sea to the shining sea. Yes. Thank you so much, Emma Mintcat, for the $5. Yeah, just some random hikers. Random hikers who were there with their fucking indigenous M16s. The Israeli left have got some stuff to say. The Israeli left have got some stuff to say. So this is Yair Golan, who's like a radical leftist in Israel. Netanyahu and Katz's response to the serious incident in the Gilad farm area is 1, a clear intent to set the area ablaze. Instead of drawing the central lesson of October the 7th, to reduce fronts and allow the IOF to carry out its missions, Netanyahu and Evasion Minister Katz are doing the opposite. Their response to the serious incident in the Gilad farm area is to establish yet more illegal outposts and create additional friction points. Instead of closing fronts, they want to ignite another Judea and Samaria incident front in Judea and Samaria. The serious events in Judea and Samaria require the security forces to act with determination, restore order, and prevent further deterioration. Every escalation in the field endangers human lives, Israelis and Palestinians alike, and first and foremost endangers IOF soldiers who are forced to pay the price of the loss of governance and reckless conduct. The responsibility of that... Just the fact you're tweeting out this... Your settlers were there threatening Palestinians with guns. Like, they threatened Palestinians with guns. What am I supposed to say? Like, what am I supposed to say? Israeli settlers attacked someone and they got shot with their own fucking guns. What is it? Is Modern Day James? Hey, you're verified. Wow, love your work, Chris. Thanks for being a beacon of rationality and morality. Thank you so much for the support of the channel. Thank you so much, guys. Also, can we stop arguing about Bad Empanada, please? Just Bad Empanada Hassan. Just we don't need to argue about him. It's literally Fafo. What are you allowed to say? Well, I mean, like, you're technically allowed to say, I support the Palestinians' right to resist. The right to resist against the state of Israel. Like, the settlers raid Palestinian villages over and over again. They burn down Palestinian villages. They attack people with impunity. And one of them gets their gun taken. And this is supposed to be something... this is supposed to be something that is like, you know, this is supposed to be something that, you know, yeah. And also, I guess I probably should address that. Yeah, I mean, the things that Bad Empanada has been up to and saying are really, really repugnant. The joke about George Floyd was incredibly tasteless. The Jabba the Hutt stuff to that lady on Twitter and just calling her fat over and over again was just repugnant as well. Using the R slur as well. I don't know why you're doing that. And I just, I'm not banning anyone's name. I'm not going to ban people's names, but I do want to say that, like, we don't need to talk about him and stuff, you know. It's really repugnant just shit at the moment, and I really just don't like that kind of stuff. It's just like, what am I supposed to say? I've not, you know, I make an active choice not to just say and do whatever I please. I could use the R word, and I'm sure some people are like, oh my god, use the R word. Oh my god. But what would be the point? It's just gonna make people uncomfortable. Sorry for starting laughing. I sincerely apologize. It has nothing to do with anything I've just talked about. Someone has posted a picture, which I'm not going to show, of the guy carrying out the shooting with the Israeli soldier's gun, and he said this picture is not from October the 7th, 2023. This picture is from July 24th, 2026. A Muslim Palestinian sheikh from Judea and Samaria murdering 2 Jews. Believing you can make peace with these savages is utter madness. Oh my god. Like the fact that he just also goes like, this is someone murdering 2 Jews. It's like they are not just Jews. They were soldiers, and they were sent there to aid and abet the theft of Palestinian land. And saying you can't make peace with them. Stop sending your fucking soldiers to steal their land. Stop it. My poor ISIS-style Jewish terrorist. 100%. 100%. I'd quit if Chris started using the R. I'm just not gonna use it, you know. Like I'm not gonna be using it because I don't use it in my regular life. Like it's not something I say for a specific reason. I just think it makes people feel uncomfortable, and it's rude and inappropriate and degrading to people who are, you know, disabled, and I don't want disabled people to feel that I don't like them or that I hold bigoted opinions about them because they're just human beings like myself or I. He just posted the George Floyd thing is he posted some incredibly tasteless joke where he was like using George Floyd's joke to mock Americans of being like saying, oh, I remember when an Argentinian police officer did that, and it was just tasteless, really. It was just really tasteless. Outside of their borders, probably not worth it. Weird how like 95% of IOF casualties occur outside of their borders. What you don't understand is that this is like 1930s again. By the way, I also assassination of Swiss Nazi. You know, a lot of people are like are kind of like, oh, well, Palestinians deserve to be subjected to violence when they're massively pro-Israel. The thing is I learned about this. So this guy, Wilhelm Gustloff, was the head of the Swiss Nazi Party. And this guy, David Frankfurter, who must have gone on to live in Israel, but you know what? He killed a Nazi, so good for him. Apparently he had a speciality in killing Nazis. Telling the police, I fired the shots because I am a Jew. So many people have this fucking urge to say that Palestinians deserve to fucking suffer because they chose to stand up and have, like, to stand up and to resist against, you know, the state of Israel, you know, and they deserve everything they got. What would this mean for Jewish people? Where does that logic that you have of people have a right for those who stand up to oppressors, that the oppressor then has the right to do whatever they fucking want to people? What's there to say about the 6 decades of US relations with Israel? No, I haven't. I think I might make a video called, like, Does the Tail Wag the Dog? Does the tail wag the dog, maybe, and talk about, like, the history of, like, liberals loving Israel and shit. The Jews fought against the Nazis. Oh, I know. By the way, the Nazis didn't even actually... I don't think the Nazis actually did anything in response to this. Like, they will have done something, but they didn't allow, like, a massive response because of the Berlin Olympics. It's actually kind of interesting. I know someone was like, I think it was Jules was saying, oh, you'll gain much more from theory. And I hate that you told me that, because already I know that, so you just fill my head with the same feeling of, like, oh, I should be reading theory and stuff instead of doing this shit. But I am really enjoying, like, learning more about the Second World War and all of this stuff. It lacks any kind of self-reflection. I don't know if you're talking about what I'm saying, but I think it really does. I really do think it is, like, this thing of, like, lacking self-reflection of where your points end up, like, where your beliefs end up. If you genuinely believe that people who are being oppressed should just lie down and take it, and if they do anything, their oppressors have the right to just do whatever they want to the oppressed, then I don't know what to say to you, because you would justify your politics ends in what the Nazis did. That Jewish guy killed a Swiss Nazi politician. So did did Jewish people deserve the oppression? Of course you'd say no. And also someone said, using like a kind of shortened version, someone who's smarter than I can probably tell me what the exact kind of thing is. I feel like talking about, like, you know, I know that, like, what is that word where you combine two words together? There's a word with liberal that sometimes I might say, but I guess it is kind of exists in that context, but it's kind of only, actually, you know what, I probably shouldn't use that either, or probably shouldn't make an argument for using it. I have a deep respect for your advocacy you have done with Nuran, have done on your platform to cover what's going on in the Swana region to aid in combating Zionism effects, but I did not enter this space expecting that advocating for Palestine meant I would have my own issues trivialized or weaponized, because I don't fall in line with some weirdos crusade against leftists in the first world. It's exhausting. What are you specifically talking about there? Portmanteau, thank you. Portmanteau, that is it. Thank you. I'm just wondering what you meant by that. I'm not 100% sure. Was it something that I've done? And I apologize if I have. I'm not sure I meant to. Oh. Wow. Yeah, I feel like, I think the thing that I'm finding hard to cover with this story is I'd like to be able to show you the full story coming out of the West Bank, but I don't want to show you any videos, and anyone who's talking about the wider escalation today on a news channel will be doing that. I'm just trying not to get the video demonetized, especially when there's a lot of people in here. There's a lot of people in here. There's a lot of people in here, so I don't want to lose my fucking get demonetized for showing the video, which sucks. As I say, my number one thing for this is just to try and become, like, member funded, and, you know, then it's just like, it's a nice bonus if I have the fucking the ad revenue, but if I don't, what can you do? There's a video of a town hall meeting where American citizens compared the construction of data centers to Israel as an argument against building a data center in my hometown. When regular everyday Americans compare things like data centers and flock homes to the whole Israel, it's pretty much a testament to how Hasbara is dead and that Israel can never... No, Israel, you're right. The main thing is, by the way, Israel is before the International Court of Justice. Whatever is happening, it's before the International Court of Justice. I don't know if you did get timed out. I don't know if anyone did that. You should look at r/Jewish. I mean, I get recommended. I love how Reddit just recommends me r/Israel constantly. I see. Yeah, I know that people used to use worse word, but yeah, I guess r/Jewish could be a fun thing, but I know that, yeah. Drinking hot milk on a 40 degrees day and chilling. Wow. Yeah, also just starring out. What are you having for din-dins? I already ate. Probably an egg. I'll probably have eggs. So platform him. We still need as many people to get in and push for decolonizing, but if he is going to be one of those supposed big voices, shouldn't be complaining about how deranged Israel is in their war crimes and celebration of death. All of this becomes meaningless. We shouldn't be complaining about how deranged Israel is in their celebration, but if he's going to... No, I still think that I still think that we shouldn't just like reflexively defend Hassan, and I think the Platner stuff is definitely warrants criticism. But yeah, I'm not so sure he's I'm not going to say he's a Zionist. I don't believe he is. Have you read Ghassan Kanafani's? No, I've only read, what's it called? The Revolt of 1936 to 39. I've not read it. It'd be nice to be a member-funded member of Chris Kunzler. Well, that's what gifted donations are from. Oh, I thought you were talking about Hassan. I thought you were specifically talking about Hassan. By calling them fatherless because it insults their masculinity. No. By one of the biggest voices. I thought that's who you meant. Yeah, please don't star out just using the R slur. It's just the same problem. Don't just star it out. It's the same thing. The short stories book is very good. Which one's that? On Zionist literature. I've really wanted to read On Zionist literature. I've been meaning to read it for ages. But does anyone notice new clothing smell of chemicals? Exit. I have never, ever, ever noticed that. Oh my fucking god. Fuck, my hands are so sweaty that I can't even open this bottle. Gee, what the fuck? I had to put it between my thighs to get it open. That's how weak I've become in my old age. Oh. Oh, can we also just not just have another debate about Hassan? And yeah, you and Isaac should do a live reading of Mayim Bialik's dogshit Zionist book for kids, which taught babies to support. Yeah, I remember that. I remember making a TikTok about that back when that happened. Yeah, I remember that. Mayim Bialik is... Someone said it's so funny how every time she starts complaining, it's just her kids calling her out. Also, right, let's do a bit of Iran war catch-up stuff, because we've missed a couple of days of the Iran war. Bahrain Kuwait warplanes struck Iran in rare Gulf retaliation. Oh my fucking god, there's also Saudi normalization. I don't know if you guys have heard this. I was told this in the car when I was driving yesterday, and then when I got home I was sad, so I just wanted to play fucking Deadlock. Yeah, apparently, so Iran in the last few hours has apparently rejected a ceasefire that was put forward by Iraq, and they were just like, no. But apparently Oman is now going there for a mediation, apparently. So we'll see about that. But Saudi Arabia, apparently in response to getting a response to apparently for the nuclear deal, Saudi, I need to find Trump saying this. Trump is saying that the Saudis have to join the Abraham Accords in order to get a... Yeah, here you go.
The civil nuclear deal, there will be no...
Oh my god, they've got read out versions of Trump tweets now. They have read out versions of Trump tweets, hold on.
The civil nuclear deal, there will be no enrichment of material being made between the United States Department of Energy and Saudi Arabia, which pertains only to non-military use such as the ones that Iran and UAE, and others, already have, will be approved.
This is actually harder to listen to than to fucking read. I'm going to read it. So, the civil nuclear deal, there will be no enrichment of material being made between the US Department of Energy and Saudi Arabia, which pertains only to non-military use such as the ones that the Iran and UAE and others already have, will be approved, but is totally subject to Saudi Arabia joining the very respected and successful Abraham Accords. You know that scene in Game of Thrones when, you know that scene in Game of Thrones when Tywin says to Joffrey, anyone who has to tell everyone that they're a king is no king. If you're telling people that the Abraham Accords are very successful and respected, it kind of means that they are absolutely not successful or respected. This is a really important topic. I don't think that Hassan, fuck me, I'm Hassan brained. I don't think that Hassan is joining the Abraham Accords. And I don't think they will, because I don't know if you remember this. When in 2023, many of you probably weren't as up to date with what's going on in Palestine. Many of you weren't as up to date with what's going on in Palestine. Back then, Biden claimed that there was going to be an Abraham Accords. Abraham Accords 2023. Biden claimed in 2023 that Saudi Arabia would be joining the Abraham Accords. He claimed that it was really close. Their administration kept pushing this. It never happened. Now, Trump is claiming it, but I don't think it will happen. Saudi can't really join. It's too much public pressure. And the fact that Mecca is still in Saudi Arabia is a tough one for them because, you know, huge amounts of pilgrims will be coming. And it's certainly bad for Saudi Arabia if they're just out here normalizing relations with Israel. However, it is Saudi Arabia, so who fucking knows? What's 70 kg? I mean, I am like, I'm 90 kg. Hassan is joining the Abraham Accords. Hassan is not joining the Abraham Accords. I cannot actually confirm that. They'll normalize. I don't know if they will. I really don't know if they will end up normalizing. I've heard this all before. So this notion that they're definitely gonna, the notion that they're definitely gonna normalize is just not gonna happen. Well, I don't think it'll happen immediately, and I don't think it's worth it for civilian nuclear enrichment. Saudi gives a fuck about oil. I don't think they give much about any kind of alternative. But saying this, I might be totally incorrect. Oh my god. 1 kg is 2.2 pounds. Yeah, I do know that. I'm like, what's 2.2? I'm like, I don't know. I'm 100 kg and 5'5". Beast. Beast mode. Donald Trump demands that Hassan Piker joins Abraham Accords before acquiring nukes. Yeah, LA is acquiring nukes. I'm just sweating my ass off right now. But yeah, this is, that was pretty fucking major. There was something else. Oh, I just saw this. Israeli rights groups are warning of mass pogroms in the West Bank. B'Tselem and 19 other Israeli human rights organizations have issued an urgent appeal to the international community to take immediate action to stop escalating violence by settler militias and the Israeli military. The coalition warned that calls for revenge and by ministers and lawmakers after the deadly shootout in the village of Tal that left at least 4 Palestinians and 2 Israelis. By the way, the fact that, I just want to reiterate something here. Why the fuck is Al Jazeera just saying 2 Israelis? 2 Israelis is pretty fucking crazy to me when it's 2 Israeli soldiers. That's not just like 2 random fucking Israelis. That's 2 Israeli soldiers. Kind of crazy thing to say. It is genuinely a crazy thing from Al Jazeera. Could quickly escalate into mass pogroms. I mean, it is kind of worrying. It is kind of worrying at all. One of the most worrying things imaginable. Just another crystal knack style moment. Well, it's Al Jazeera. Yeah, I know it's Al Jazeera, but still, do you expect them to just be like, Israelis are dying? They're Israeli soldiers, and that's a really important detail. And I think the fact that Al Jazeera is leaving that out of all places is troublesome. Also, by the way, I just wanted to say over on Twitch, go follow because I'm 4 followers off for 3,200. God, Israel is already pulling out soldiers from Lebanon and Gaza for a major operation in the West Bank. I think that they're going to go. I think the Lebanon front was an issue, and I think that they're kind of happy with the current status quo. It wouldn't surprise me if they get more involved in the West Bank. I don't think that's totally implausible. I don't think that's totally implausible, but I do think that the Gaza thing might be the higher focus. I don't think they'll pull out of Gaza. I think they might enter another war. I think that Netanyahu may well do it. Insensitive, Chris. They were babies once. Yeah, Al Jazeera should have said they were babies. Thank you for the $2, though, my man. Thank you for supporting the channel. As always, Terra Trove Tales, my goat, my young goat. And yeah, by the way, I do think you should try and be as fit as possible, just because it'll make you feel better. If you have the ability. I know not everyone can, but if you have the ability, just trying to walk and stuff, it makes you feel better, trust me. And it makes you feel healthier, and it makes you breathe better. I feel good breathing better. Who's better at killing crickets? Well, no one should be killing crickets. You should just pick them up with a glass and put them outside.
Focus here, all right? You've got this area here in the Strait of Hormuz, a major focus, and then you've got the area down here at the bottom of the Red Sea that leads into the Gulf of Aden, and that fired up about 3 days ago. This is what...
Oh my fucking god, yeah, we just kind of missed this sort of stuff of there being boats being blown up in the Strait of Hormuz and attacked by Ansar Allah Houthis. Not in the Strait of Hormuz, in Bab al-Mandeb. But the Ansar Allah Houthis keep on saying over and over again that it's actually not a... They keep on saying that it's not a blockade of Bab al-Mandeb. It is a blockade specifically of Saudi ships, and they haven't quite cleared up everything related to that.
We can tell you, okay? I'll put this in yellow to give a better idea here. The red area is controlled by the Houthis, and no small matter. This is a 100-mile stretch of shoreline. So if there are vessels moving through the Red Sea, the Houthis have made their threats, and we had one area that was hit that belonged to Saudi Arabia just the other day. Meanwhile, there's a pipeline here in Saudi Arabia that goes north of the area where the Houthis control. That pipeline is being used more and more by the week to try and steer clear of this area that's operated by the Houthis, and we'll see how that goes. In the meantime, I'll show you back in the area, the campaign against Iran. Here again on the board, Strait of Hormuz that leads in the Gulf of Oman. 13 consecutive nights.
It is really amazing how they... Oh, we just hit 3,200 followers. Thank you so much, Twitchers. The Twitch seems to be growing really well, which is kind of crazy. I appreciate you all deeply, and thank you for everyone who supported, became a subscriber over there, dropped a Prime or whatever the fuck. Thank you for helping me to... enable me to save up the £27 a month that I bloody need to afford my fucking membership. Afford my thing for Streamlabs. Spain has the opportunity to do the funniest thing. What does Spain have the opportunity to do?
Nights of strikes. What's CENTCOM going after? They are trying to triple the...
Shoe thrown at Bush, my man. Thank you for the 2 months subscribed with Prime. We're at 8 out of 10 of the way there. You should show your audience the war sketch from the day-to-day. Yeah, but Nixon, I don't think I can show that because I'll get fucking copyrighted. I'd love to show that. I'd love to show most of the sketches from the day-to-day. The pedo ones, to be fair, the war one is great. But there's a brilliant one where he's like, throw out all the history books as well. I don't know. It's so funny also. By the way, watching like America Burger Reich cope about what's going on in the world is just... I also haven't even looked into Trump's tariffs today. That'll teach me for fucking around and not doing what I should have been.
Military command centers.
I also probably will stream for a little bit longer, but not for too much longer. Ow, I just cracked my hands and it hurt. Fuck. But one of the things is the other thing... I will go slightly earlier because I'm going to get the clavicular video up tonight. I think you guys are going to like it. I'm just waiting on a thumbnail from Ethan's basement. I'm not quite sure what I should do. Should I turn that other channel into the streaming channel? Should I turn that into the streaming channel and keep this as the main video channel because it might be hard to grow that one and keep up with the clip stuff? But it looks like Isaac has found the trick, and I think I need to do that, of doing a thing where I'm like uploading short clips rather than long ones all the time. Oh, what is that Labubu going off? Elephant Fish, thank you for the 200 NOK. Oh my god. Thank you for the 200 NOK. Incredibly kind, my man. Say there is a guy in support of a German politician during World War II. He says that this politician has some bad takes on foreign policy, but is really good on domestic policy. At what point do we call that guy a Nazi? I know. I think it's the thing of just like... I guess it's like the thing of like working with them. I think Brad Lander is someone really to talk about. Like Brad Lander is someone who is repugnant in the things he's done in office, 100%, you know, and I think like actively using your position to support the genocide of Palestinians really, really is just awful and repugnant.
Welcome to the
I think, I guess
Burger
it's because like the thing of just like, I see like the general wider politics as supporting the Palestinian cause and being against the state of Israel and using a platform to do that when many, many, many others haven't. But I do understand like the criticism. Like I really do appreciate it. I really do understand like what you're saying. It's it's like this thing of like I know fully it's like this thing of like, you know, Brad Lander is just repugnant, like straight up. Lander cannot be trusted. It's not even that just Lander cannot be trusted. Lander is like an active supporter of, you know, not even just an active supporter. Lander is someone who is like directly complicit in that, you know. Also, Malcolm Tuckshot, thank you for becoming a member. People will be going crazy with the memberships. Thank you for funding Friday. Brad Lander is a delusional Zionist moron who's only good at making other Zionists look like carnists. Yeah, I don't think you're wrong about that. Don't worry. On the first of the month, I give out 10 free memberships that it allows me to gift. So I will head out for 10 free memberships to any of my boys up in this place, and I will So be here on whenever the first of the month is. Yeah, I know. I think people who support him and talk about him, I'd say Lander is the worst of the worst because Lander also lies himself about it.
The drone storage facilities that are still a problem today, the communication networks and a lot of this coastal surveillance now that the IRGC can use against international shipping and can use potentially against U.S. forces. So over the past week, give or
Oh shit, yeah, that was actually kind of bigoted. I'm really sorry. I should have been saying that I'll give out, I should have given them out to the ladies as well, but I'm being misogynistic today.
All right, the blockade's still in effect from the tip of Oman down here, straight across roughly to the border with Iran and Pakistan. We are told over the past week we've had at least 12 vessels that have been redirected on behalf of the U.S. military, and one of those has been disabled. With all that as a backdrop, let's go ahead and bring in our guest to go ahead and talk about this. Former CENTCOM Commander General Joseph Votel. Sir, thank you. Welcome to our coverage.
By the way, I've just seen someone talking about this, saying genuinely one of the worst, more insane lies that slopulists have cooked up recently about the merging of the US and Israeli militaries. In my understanding, it is quite a deep integration of the two. Someone here has pointed this out. To expand and accelerate bilateral defense technology, research, development, testing, evaluation, integration, and industrial cooperation. I think people should be pissed. Maybe it's just the term merge that they don't like. No one is going to notice that our militaries are in no way merged. They'll just move right along. I swear it is like a deeper level of integration. Like a way deeper level of integration, no? Like an increased level of integration, right? Am I wrong? Is someone just going to say the opposite?
What are we missing? What happens next? How do you see it?
I mean, Iran also hold the escalation dominance. Oh my god, Isaac's video about fucking Mayim Bialik fucking popped off. I need to get on those 15-minute cheeky little videos. I will start doing that. But yeah, the what was I gonna say? Sorry, I also didn't answer the question about. I asked the question about switching the YouTube channels around. If anyone wants to answer that. I think that the thing is like, with Lander moving the conversation in the right direction, it's just like, why would you ever throw support behind him? Like, Lander 100% pretends and says, like, he's lied. He's literally lied about all of this. He has lied about all of this. Kate Cartobs, love your stuff. Have some money. Thank you for the 100 NOK. The Norwegians are going crazy. I mean, to be fair, I'm not so sure you should be donating to me when one of your guys is stuck between borders. Jonas, he's still stuck between borders in India.
Yeah, thanks. It's great to be with you, Bill. Well, I think the main issue that we are continuing to focus on here is the Strait of Hormuz and Iran's ability to control that. And I think that is, when you look at some of the targeting you just talked about, a lot of that is focused on trying to reduce the capabilities that that Iran is using to exercise that influence, and of course broaden the conflict to 6 or 7 different countries around the region. The current U.S. campaign is certainly doing some damage, but as we've now seen the 13th night, almost 2 weeks of it, it's not yet brought us to a point of decision here where Iran has said enough and they're ready to move back to negotiations.
You know what? I don't want to listen to this guy. Let's find someone else. I don't need to listen to a former CENTCOM chief cope about his bloody nonsense. Iran war. Let's see what. Let's get like reports on this. I've heard that
the escalation.
Iran is threatening to attack UK bases. Iran, please do not do that. I live in the UK. Please do not attack the UK bases. Do not do that. I live in the UK and I love the UK government and I have a deep respect.
Escalating conflict between the US and Iran, despite a truce signed just last month, now seems to have dragged in the UK. Tehran has threatened to attack a British airbase after claiming for the first time since the renewal of hostilities that a US bomber attacked Iran.
By the way, Andy Burnham, the first thing that Andy Burnham seems to have done in power, the first thing that Andy Burnham seems to have done in power is just let the US use our bases to bomb Iran. He's to the right of Keir Starmer.
After flying from RAF Fairford in Gloucestershire. In response, the Ministry of Defence tonight said...
Fairford. It's RAF Fairford. Drac, motherfucker, I'm of prime draft age. You honestly think that they're going to draft me? I have asthma, I have eyesight issues, I have an ACL, a reconstructed ACL due to an injury that ended my sporting career. I have allergies, I have a cough, I have boldness, I have streaming responsibilities, I have a moral objection, I have I would never serve in the US. If the UK military called me up and they were like, can you fight against Nazism? Maybe, but they're not going to call me up anyway, and the Nazis are gone. So I don't know. I don't even know. I don't think I'm best placed to be a soldier. I'll put it that way. Last time I did play paintball though, I did get a couple of outs with the ting. So you know what I'm saying.
The UK stands ready to defend itself. All this is another...
Oh, flat feet. I've got flat feet.
Front in their war appears to have opened up between the US and Iran, this time in the Red Sea, where Iranian-backed Houthi rebels say they've attacked 2 oil tankers. That news pushed energy prices up sharply, with the cost of a barrel of oil hitting $100 for the first time since May. More on that in a moment, but first, Jeremy Bowen has our top story tonight.
The UK's attempt to keep a distance from America's war.
Keir Starmer was a bit fishy with it. So Keir Starmer kept saying it's only for defensive, non-defensive. He kept saying that it's for defensive. He kept saying it was only for non-offensive or like strikes not on infrastructure.
With Iran, while still letting US B-1 bombers use British bases, this is RAF Fairford, is wearing thin, certainly as far as the Tehran regime is concerned. The B-1s, Britain says, can only fly defensive missions. That's an inherently ambiguous statement, as in warfare the line between defense and offense is hard to define, and it's dismissed by Iran, which now says bases like Fairford are legitimate targets for attack. It is not clear what they might do, but the threat will be...
Yesterday, 18 ships exited Bab el-Mandeb. Half of them were carrying crude oil, including 2 Chinese super tankers. Yeah, imagine if China is just getting that. What did the ladies and guys... Wait, do you not know what people did? Oh my god, fucking Drac shows how bloody ignorant you are. They like dug a trench or something, or put a potato in or something. I don't know. They just have like propaganda posters where they just work the farms and shit. or did something like that. I don't know. I'd be because we live in a different age to them. They didn't have computers. I'd be working the computer. Hopefully, much of my Dota competition would be drafted to the war, and I could become the world's #1 Dota player. But that's just a theory. That is just something I've been thinking about a little bit. And if any of you are interested in hearing about that, become a member, and there'll be a members only stream where I tell you all about how my plan is to start a war.
Taken very seriously. In the Gulf, 12 days of renewed US strikes, Iranian retaliation and mutual threats add up to a full-scale return to war. Military and economic pressure on Iran is intense, but there's no sign that another bombing campaign, on top of 39 days of strikes before the ceasefire in April, will force the regime in Tehran to bend or break. Donald Trump's repeated emphasis
Okay, there's some kind of copyrighted music
victory
here.
over
I'm said, right. I say that
for the United States.
I had a newspaper say they're in stronger position today than they were 4 months ago. No, that's not the truth. That's not right. I can't believe they're even allowed to say it. New York Times said they're in stronger position today. They have no military. They have no navy.
It's also so funny that Trump kind of says this and people still lap it up that he's a sort of coherent individual. And the whole thing is this fucking man is just sat here saying utterly incoherent nonsense.
159 ships, everyone's at the bottom of the sea.
Until now, all eyes have been on the Strait of Hormuz. America's justification for this current campaign was to stop Iranian attacks on ships there. But now there's a new front opening up. It's the Bab al-Mandab Strait at the southern end of the Red Sea. The Houthis in Yemen, Iran's allies, are attacking tankers carrying Saudi oil. Last night, 2 tankers were hit, including this one, the Saudi-registered Encelia, targeted when traveling south out of the strait. If Bab al-Mandab, as well as the Strait of Hormuz, is blocked, the Saudis will have no direct routes to their huge markets in Asia, and we will all feel the economic consequences of higher oil prices. The Houthis look to be ending a
It's always crazy when you see a photo of like protests in Yemen and they've just got green mouths from enjoying a bit of cat.
4-year truce with Saudi Arabia. And since the Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman visited Donald Trump at the White House last November,
I can't imagine what is going on a like the comments on this, the comments on a pro-Trump live stream. I can't imagine, and I don't care. Actually, you know what? That's actually a dumb thing to say. It would probably be cool to go to like a Trump rally and find out what's going on there. And I know that might sound dumb, but to like see what's actually happening there. White feathers was a shaming ritual in which women gave white feathers to non-enlisting men, symbolizing cowardice, and shaming them into signing up. Oh, you know what's a good idea for this chat? Well done, Drac, for telling me that. I'll give you all white flowers who haven't become members. How do I do that? You have a white flower for not becoming a member. You could for not becoming a member. You're all tarred with a white feather.
their alliance has been damaged by the war with Iran and now by the president's abrupt decision to link their new deal on nuclear technology with a demand for Saudi Arabia to recognize Israel. In Tehran, the Iranians are stepping up their anti-US propaganda, threatening to kill Donald.
Amade Marg Bash. Amade Marg Bash. Become ready. That translates to different things in English, which is kind of interesting. Amade is like Amadan is to go and like Bosh is to become, get ready. So like it does translate to get ready to die, but it just says get ready to die. I can't see the hey terrorist. I don't even know how you say salam, whatever you say is terrorist.
Trump on the golf course alongside the president in a coffin. Neither the Iranians nor the...
Sorry. That is something. I can't read. The calligraphy is so much harder to read. Tehran. I don't know if that's what it says. I don't even know what that says.
President in a coffin. Neither the Iranians nor the Americans have ruled out a return to diplomacy, but that would require both sides to de-escalate.
Yeah, Ahmadiyya is like readiness, but Ramadan is to like to come, right? Rafto Ahmad, Ramadan is to come, so it means like ready. So Ahmadiyya is like I am, yeah.
And soon
I can read Farsi, yes, not very well anymore. When I finished my degree, I could like read BBC Persian. I've tried to show it here, but I don't think I could. I know that, so like, okay, I can read you like the tiniest bit here. Zende, that I know that means live. But like, yeah, Etihadiye Arupa Europe Panj 5 Qazi 5 judges ve yek Hakar, is that government? Irani Ra Tehrim Kar. I don't know what that means. My Farsi is so weak. Now. This is that says Axios. Axios as telash Amerika ve Britanya baraye Borgzari. My Farsi is not that great. I do have to tell you. It's really not that great, and I won't pretend it is right now. European Union, 5 judges and hacker under. Oh, I got the judges right. I got the judges right, didn't I? Europea. Did I say judges? No, I didn't say judges. But I said 5 from Europe. That's what I said right. So yeah, I got that right at least. Hacker is cyber. Ah, thank you for that. Thank you. I at least got some of it right. So there's your proof that I can read like basic Farsi.
After.
But I used to at the end of it, I used to be able to read it. But you've got to remember, I finished my undergraduate in 2022. So that's heading up to 4 years now. So I haven't really studied Farsi consistently since 2022.
Accept concessions that neither, for now, is prepared to offer. Jeremy Bowen, BBC News.
And Jeremy is here along with Faisal Islam, our economics editor. To you, Jeremy, first. I mean, there is supposed to be a truce in place, yet we've seen this escalation night after night after night. I mean...
I do think that they are going to launch a big operation. I think ground invasion, I keep saying ground invasion is not off the table because of how dumb this shit is. But I do think they go to bigger escalation. I think the thing is Patriot missiles are being used up. All of their missiles are being used up. Marcus, I can't read that for some reason. For some reason, I don't know what that means. Are you studying for a master's? No, I have a master's. I finished my master's. I got a really good mark in my master's. I got a distinction. So, yeah, that was a while ago. This war can only end with a deal. Unfortunately, Iran can't occupy Israel/USA. USA needs to be taken down a peg and concede to Iran's terms. Yeah, but that, I think, Stephen, that's where the problem lies, Mr. Glenn. How do you deal with that? How do you fucking deal with that shit? I just don't see... I don't either, really, Drac. But you know what? I'm going to say it is, because who fucking knows what's going to happen? Who knows what's going to happen? At all.
The truce is dead, isn't it?
At the moment, yeah, sure. It might come back to life. This is the Middle East. You can't predict some things. The mediator...
Do you know this guy was getting fried because he recently was talking about Jewish settlements? Loads of fucking pro-Israel people were like, he keeps saying Jewish settlements.
Are working at it. The Pakistanis, the Qataris. Ed Miliband, Britain's new foreign secretary, is actually on his way to Doha in Qatar to talk to Allah.
Mahdi, I like Buffet Kur. That's the only thing I've really read, but I read it in English. It's good. Blind Owl, you'll know that.
Lies there, so you can't rule anything out. At the beginning of this escalation 12 days ago, there was a lot of talk that maybe both sides were trying to bolster their negotiating position with a show of force. But the problem with these escalations is that things can go out of control. And at the moment, if you look at everything that's going on all around the place, Strait of Hormuz, Bab al-Mandab, threats even to RAF Fairford, it feels like it's spinning a rather out of control. And that's also exacerbated by Donald Trump at first making a deal with Saudi Arabia and then putting in this condition of recognizing Israel, something that the Saudis have always linked to a Palestinian state, and that which is not happening at the moment. So there's this sense, I think, that there's no one really in charge of the pace of events in the crisis, and that is a dangerous thing. Now, big question. Does it escalate further? Donald Trump has been threatening that...
Oh, I mean, if you're right, if 1,000 to 2,000 American soldiers died, if 1,000 to 2,000 American soldiers died, that would be disastrous. Already the amount that have died is ridiculous. And the other thing that is bad for the US, even though it's a teeny tiny amount, oh my God. By the way, there's like crystal nest. It actually is going on in the West Bank. I don't like this Ehab Hassan guy much, but there's just burning down of villages and stuff in the West Bank. A gathering at the entrance of the Christian town of Birzeit in the occupied West Bank. I was just thinking, like, imagine this just being like an activity you do with your family and fucking friends. Like, just you meet up with your guys to do a pogrom. How do you say debasification in Farsi? Debasification. I know. I'll be up all night crying and puking with worry about RAF effort. And I will be too. And I don't know why you think you need to say that in the chat, because we're all fucking going to be doing that. We're all going to be so fucking upset. Are you still making videos? I have a video literally ready to go, but when I was trying to upload earlier, my internet was going crazy.
That it could escalate further in a big way? Or do the mediators, do others find a way of slowing it down, getting together, talking again? But the difficulty is, what do they talk about? Because they had this memorandum of understanding with various rather ambiguously drawn clauses in it, and that didn't work out. So they need some new ideas fast, or what we're going to see is more prolonged exchanges, and that is dangerous for all of us.
Yeah, and Faisal, this attack on tankers in the Red Sea, I mean, are we returning now to the bad old days of April, May, when oil prices, the cost of a barrel was over $100 for an extended period?
Well, we're back there today in terms of the Brent crude price. It's back at $100, and it had fallen quite sharply. We've also seen a similar pattern in gas. Let's take a look.
Right, hold on. I need to zoom in. Sanuar Kardan. I think because if I understand, debasification is removing from platform. No, debasification specifically, what they mean is to literally, I suppose that is like a correct-ish translation, but debasification, what they're trying to talk about is, yeah, removing American bases from the region. So it would just, you'd have to say it in like, the goal of Iran is to remove the bases. I think what would be more important to hear is what Tung Sahur thinks about all of this.
At what's happened to the oil price over the course of this year, and you'll see the sharp rise, but then it fell.
What is the point of normalization when you've had it done in secret? Because normalization always has benefits. So like already, by the way, once again, Jeffrey Epstein was actually involved in this stuff. You can go and read up. Jeffrey Epstein genuinely was involved in building these secret relationships between Israel and certain countries, or at least developing them. So for the Emiratis, they really wanted Pegasus spyware, and it gives you like a more open ability to have Israelis there. But covertly, that already existed. So it's basically just formalizing, making it possible to have more people over, and more people over there, as in more soldiers, and also getting something for yourself. I thought it meant you weren't based anymore. I'm trying not to be cringe, but it's a difficult struggle for each of us. Thank you for the $2, my man. Thank you for everyone this Friday for going fucking ham on the donations. Thank you for supporting the damn fucking channel. Yeah, you'd have to use, we use full sentences 100%. To add no politics. We've been trying to do that. He also, by the way, Isaac will not be deleting your comments. 100% Isaac will not be deleting your comments. Isaac is very chill about everything, so he won't be doing it.
As the de-escalation occurred in June, and now we've essentially had re-escalation. In fact, it's escalated beyond where we saw in May in terms of this spread, as Jeremy has been pointing to. I mentioned the gas price. You get a similar pattern there. Actually, the price of gas in international markets.
Was Saudi given Pegasus without normalization? Didn't know that.
Is now pretty close to the highs we've seen during this Iran war. And that is critical because across Europe, we're just at the point where they're going to start to fill up their storage for winter. So this is really important.
By the way, I never drive my car when my girlfriend is here. I hate driving my car. Why am I putting in £30 for fuel and it's not getting me anywhere? Why is why is a trip to Heathrow causing me so many issues on £30 of fuel? I should be good, but I'm not. I'm paying £30 for nothing. Fuck.
Important moment, and it's why some
funding one day fucking funding Friday between every funding Friday ever will just lead to me being able to make one trip.
Are worried that this will then flow through. We're already seeing an impact on petrol and diesel prices to some degree, and it's also flown through we see it in government borrowing costs as well, including for the UK, and it means that these trade-offs are already quite tricky for this cost of living government under the new Prime Minister Andy Burnham.
Okay, on that note, I am gonna YouTube does do that kind of shit. Yes, trust me, YouTube will delete things. They will delete things. I don't know why. But on that note, guys, I'm going to call the stream here because I've been live for quite a while and I got some other shit to do this evening. I think there should be my clavicular video up tonight. It's quite a long one. I think you guys would enjoy it. It's about 45 minutes, I think, 42 maybe. It's got some interesting stuff in, but yeah, I hope you guys enjoy and I'll see you guys tomorrow back for another live. So yeah, see you soon. Thank you all as always for an interesting stream. Goated, and thank you for everyone who commented, supported, donated, everything. See you guys soon.